Hey, we are back.
Hello.
Yes, Lord. Episode 17. Dang. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought your camera froze again. I was like, oh no, not again.
Am I frozen?
We see some movement now. We
Am I
technology
alive?
is not trying to screw us. We are
I'm,
live.
I'm here and I'm alive. Just
Jacob's
barely.
back.
I am
Yes.
alive.
Rocking the amazing SEMO hat.
Yeah. Shout out Simo.
Shout
My
out to
alma,
SEMO.
my alma mater, I guess you can call it. Yeah.
The film major squad is here.
Gang. We here. Like Daredevil, I have been born again.
Jacob born again. Nice.
See what happened there. I born again.
Yeah.
I died. But now I'm back.
You'd been dead for about 2 months, and we died right around when Captain America 4 came out, and then went missing. Went missing for a little bit.
That was the real reason. It wasn't anything personal. It was just that crushed my soul completely.
Yeah.
And then the MCU came back with the beautiful Matt Murdock.
It sure did. It sure as hell did. I'm about to share some of these links with people.
We can hit it with the did we already do my intro?
Let's hit that intro.
Beautiful intro.
Ooh, so fancy. So fancy.
It's been a while. I feel alive.
Yes, sir. Episode 17, man. Just been at it for a minute.
It's crazy to me. It's almost been 2 years. 2 years. 17 episodes in 2 years.
You're like a veteran content creator now.
I wouldn't say all that. Maybe one day.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hey, I be popping off on the TikToks. That's where I get my most love is TikToks. Blake, I'm sorry you couldn't make it too. Get well, buddy. Yeah, our buddy, we were supposed to have Blake from Fandomentals on here tonight, but sadly, life got in the way, as things always happen. So
yes,
it will be sorely missed, and we're hoping that you feel better, Blake.
Yeah, get better soon, brother. Shout out to Raiden Hayes J Gaming as well. That's my boy Trent. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, right on time.
Episode 17 is underway. I just need to find it on Facebook so I can share it. Jesus.
I was born again.
Hey.
Oh, I love you too.
We love you, man. Absolutely.
There we go. That just warmed my heart and brought blood to a very special region of me. So,
ooh, I'll tell you what. I'm going to stop eating Mexican food at midnight. That's what I'm going to stop doing. I learned a valuable lesson this morning on the toilet. And as much time as I spent with that today, I bet I won't make that mistake again. Nope.
Shout out Mexican food.
Yay. Abelardo's, thank you for the delicious meal that tore my stomach up.
I did. Just call me Ryan Gosling. Then. You know what? You can be. I will call you Ryan Gosling this one beautiful time.
Blake pretty much is our Ryan Gosling. Now that I think about it, because he is Knuff.
Yes.
Oh man, got some shares going under the way. You got a little spill you want to do before we jump right into it?
Yes. Here's the spill. Here's the deal. Bars. Life has gotten in the way. I'm back though.
Oh yeah.
All right. I took a small little detour from things, but I am back. You know, and I hope you are as happy to see me as I'm happy to see you. I always say this, and I want this to be on record. I feel like a father figure to you all. And when Daddy's not here, I know that you get sad. But Daddy's here, and Daddy's going to kiss the boo-boo.
Kiss that boo-boo.
I know if Bella was watching this right now, she would be cringing so hard because she hates when I do that.
Yeah.
But you know what, Bella? I hope you're watching this, and I hope you love that. That was just for you.
We miss you, Bella.
Yeah, miss you, by the way. She's not here. She's more of a horror girl. She's not big on the MCU, so she didn't watch the show. We'll get her to watch it one day, but yeah. I'm back. I've seen some movies. I've been doing content on my Instagram and my TikTok and Facebook and all that. I've been posting things. And, so if you want to follow me like regularly, Instagram is probably the best place to do that. That's where everything goes is Instagram and Facebook. And then TikTok as well. If you have a TikTok, I know you have a TikTok, follow me on there. But yeah, hopefully we'll get back to doing some podcasts. There's been some switch up and things, I know, but hopefully we can do a podcast every now and then. I think me and Deante both are on the same page. I wanted to started off with this, that we're both kind of dealing with life right now. So, podcasting isn't a priority right now. Sad to say, we've been doing this 2 years. So I'm not saying we're dying. We're not going away. We will never go away. We will never abandon our children. All right.
Absolutely.
There may not be as many episodes. We started off the year strong. We were like, we're coming back. We did back-to-back episodes, back-to-back months. We were doing great. And then life kind of shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
For lack of better words in life. I know for me and probably for you too, Deante. So.
Oh man.
We won't talk about the personal, but that's the reason why we've been gone. And so don't expect like a lot of podcasts, but hopefully we can get into this where we're doing at least one every month. Hopefully, I'd like to do that because I do love this. It's my only time I get to be weird and crazy about movies.
Yeah.
Because on Instagram, I can do posts and I can do out of theater reactions, but I feel so stiff filming those out of theater reactions. This is the only time I feel free. I feel like I can move around. I can do stuff. I can say whatever. Hopefully not get canceled, but whatever. This is my show. But yeah.
The best way to go out is get canceled.
Yeah.
Go out with a bang.
I'm all that rambling to say, we're back. And we're here to talk about something very important, near and dear to my heart.
Oh, man.
Near and dear to my heart.
Are y'all ready?
Daredevil, Born Again, Season 1.
Look at that. Such a beautiful poster.
The work is never done, and that is true. It's never done.
Never.
Now, I guess to start off, we can give our history on our fandom for Daredevil. I'll go first, I guess. So, throwback, 2003, Ben Affleck, Daredevil. When I was a kid, I didn't read many comics. I read some Spider-Man, some Hulk. I mainly stuck to Spider-Man comics as a kid. That was like the one I read the most, and some Incredible Hulk. But I never read Daredevil comics as a kid. I wasn't a big comic person. mainly just Spider-Man for some reason. But yeah, so I was introduced through Ben Affleck's movie Daredevil, and I know people hate on it. And yes, it's not a great movie, but I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Colin Farrell as Bullseye is amazing.
Oh man.
I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie, and come on, the Evanescence song, "Bring Me to Life." That whole soundtrack. That was just a period. You had to be there in the early 2000s. That's nostalgia right there.
Good Lord. I didn't even realize Evanescence was on the Daredevil soundtrack. I thought it was some other. I could have sworn that was like the Punisher live action.
No, they even did a music video that was Daredevil inspired for "Bring Me to Life." I remember watching it on MTV as a kid.
Goodness gracious!
That's dating me. That shows I'm not as young as I look. That's pretty dating me. But yeah, my mom said you're welcome. Thank you, Mom. My mom, she's a Ben Affleck stan. I think that's the reason why I even got to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil in the first place, is because she probably wanted to watch it because she loves Ben Affleck, always has. But yeah, so you know what? Whatever you say about that movie, introduce me to Daredevil. Yes, Blake, I'll always have sentimental value, nostalgia with that movie. And fast forward to when I was in high school, Netflix came out with a little series called Daredevil.
Yes.
And I watched that first season, and I was hooked. I was so in love. Kingpin, come on, Karen Page, Foggy, all of them. I was so in love with that show. It meant so. I remember my senior year of high school, I watched the first 2 seasons, and I was just in love. That was a time to be alive when Netflix did the, I guess, Defenders universe, you would call it. When we had Luke Cage, we had Jessica Jones, we had Daredevil, we had Iron Fist, we had the Defenders. I watched all of those.
Oh yeah, got to.
The Punisher came out a little later, but then, yeah, I watched most of those. And Jessica Jones I loved, and Daredevil I loved, Luke Cage I loved.
So good.
Iron Fist was the weakest probably, but it was still decent. Defenders wasn't that great for me, but it was okay. And then I fell off. And then I came back in 2022 for some reason, like 4 years after it had ended. I didn't even watch season 3 when it first came out in 2018. I want to say is when it came out. I fell off after the first season of Punisher, and then I came back for some reason, and I rewatched season 1 and 2, and then I saw season 3 for the first time, and I was like, yes, this is a top 3 show of all time for me. This is my favorite show of all time, besides Golden Girls and The Office. Now that's a weird top 3, I know, but it's true.
To compete with Golden Girls, that's really up there.
Yeah, The Office is my favorite of all time. Golden Girls would be 2. Daredevil would be 3. And I love this show to death. I've loved it now. I reconnected with my love. I loved it when I saw it in high school, and I reconnected with it in my college years. And now with Born Again coming out, it's been 3 years since I really watched anything Daredevil. I've reconnected with it again, because all I watched was I saw Kingpin and Hawkeye. I didn't watch Echo, to give you a background. I haven't seen Echo, so I'm not going to be talking about that. It doesn't really tie into this series anyway. I saw Hawkeye. I didn't watch She-Hulk. I just watched the scenes of Daredevil and She-Hulk.
Yeah. The scenes.
Yeah, I am not. So I'm a little behind on some of the MCU shows, but when it comes to Born Again, when this was coming out, I've been following the production the whole way. I was like, yes. And then, of course, production overall happened during the writer's strike. I even fact-checked myself, so I'm telling the truth here. We tell the truth here, okay? I got some behind the scenes. So I know a lot of people probably know this, but I'll say it anyway just for the viewers. This show, they filmed the first few, Kevin Feige and a few of the execs during the writer's strike in 2023. They watched a few episodes, and they didn't like it. And they basically fired the whole creative team. And then they brought on a writer from The Punisher, David Scarpadine, or I don't want to butcher his last name.
Hold on,
yeah, whatever, that guy.
Yeah,
great writer. Shout out you. I'm just bad with names. He was he came on from the Punisher, and that's actually how they got Frank Castle back too. I read John Bernthal said he wasn't going to come back originally because he didn't like the way it was written. He said it was too light, it wasn't dark enough for the Punisher's tone. He wanted to keep the Punisher dark. And then once he saw that the Punisher, one of the writers on the Punisher, was coming to basically do the creative overhaul, he was like, okay, I'm on board. So thank you to Kevin Feige for firing those. So sorry those people lost their job, but it was for the better because we got the Punisher back. They decided to bring Karen and Foggy because this was originally supposed to be a soft reboot. We weren't going to get Karen and Foggy. We weren't going to get the Punisher. It was going to be a new MCU show, basically. And that would have been horrible. And I'm so glad Kevin Feige, I know they wasted some money on making episodes, but I'm so glad he was like, yeah, this ain't going to work, fam. And fired everybody and then brought a whole new creative team and brought back the OG characters.
Absolutely.
So glad for that. We wouldn't, for the better for sure. And we'll get into it, and you can tell because they still use some of the footage from the pre-shot before the creative overhaul. They did have to include the footage that they shot before, I read, and that kind of causes some issues during this season. So it's not a perfect overhaul, but it was definitely necessary, and I'm so glad they did it because this show, I'll just say off the rip, is near great for me. I will say it's great for me. I can't say it doesn't live up to the Netflix series for me personally, but it very much impressed me. It shocked me, especially being connected to the MCU and Disney Plus. I texted Deante throughout this whole thing, watching episodes. Couldn't believe how dark they went.
Right.
I am so happy they decided to go dark. I think Deadpool and Wolverine really helped give Disney confidence that they can do, blood and guts and gore and cussing and darkness, and
absolutely.
You can't really do this show without that. So I'm so happy for that. And yeah, we're going to get into it, but yeah, that's a long-winded backstory for me. And I kind of wanted to set up the show a little bit, give some behind the scenes. Marvin Mims Jr. Shout out Broncos wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. He is an actual All-Pro, by the way. Adam, I know you. You know what? You hate the Broncos. Go Broncos country. But yeah, let's get to Deante. What is your experience with Daredevil? Because I know you have probably a lot more familiarity with Daredevil than I do, because I started with Ben Affleck's. So
yeah, I started with Ben Affleck's as well, and I had a completely different experience with it because it's just like growing up, I've had superhero cartoons galore, and then I had a couple live action superhero movies up prior to the Daredevil movie being released. I won't name all of them, but it's just like Daredevil, Affleck Devil came out in like early 2000s. I grew up on stuff like Spawn with Michael Jai White. I grew up on live action hero movies like the Blade movies and all of that. And Blade movies is what saved the MCU from never being born in the first place. And then all of that set the bar not insanely high, but it was just like every movie that came out after that should have just been like bare minimum, just a slight banger. And I hated Daredevil live action with a burning passion. I was just like, oh man, like, and I give Ben Affleck a chance so many times too. Like, I'm not a Ben Affleck hater by any means, but there are just some movies where it's just like, I have no business watching this. Like, what's in it for me? I off the top of my head, I can't name too many Ben Affleck movies that I'm just obsessed with, and I'll just sit somewhere and watch it any random day of the week over anybody else's movie. But for what it's worth, the Daredevil movie did give us Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, which was a bold freaking move. Colin Farrell's kooky take on Bullseye, having basically a bullseye branded into his forehead, or however the hell that got into his forehead. I actually, yeah, Pearl Harbor is a movie that I would watch, like without anybody coercing me to do it. I would
Hey,
watch Pearl Harbor.
Accountant's great too. Accountant 2 just came out in theaters. I saw it Monday. I didn't do a review on it. It's a good sequel though.
Yeah, and I still haven't started the Accountant franchise yet, but man, I'm a long way from getting into that because I got so many more movies to watch. About to start the Hunger Games. I just finished Lord of the Rings, so the Accountant will probably be at the very back of the list. Uh, well, after all of this catch up is done, and but anyways, back to Daredevil. You had, was it Jennifer Love Hewitt that played Elektra?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner played Elektra. Beautiful. Maybe not comic accurate Elektra, but still beautiful character, beautiful person to play her. Hollywood was just trying to sell tickets, and I totally understand where they're coming from. It's the early 2000s. You're not always going to be able to just go around and grab like the most perfect person for every role. Like if Ben Affleck could be anybody in comic books, I would I would not make him Matt Murdock or Bruce Wayne. Uh, Strange casting choices on both ends of Marvel and DC. Did he get by as much as he possibly could? Sure, but those movies just didn't hit it for me. And the fact that Bullseye kind of just came through and made Ben Affleck look like the least likely superhero in all of superhero history was just like kind of a painful movie for me to watch because it's like, you're a superhero. Why are you losing to Bullseye so much? But then you read the comics and you realize like Bullseye is a absolute menace. When he shows up, somebody's guaranteed to die because the dude can just throw projectiles in the most lethal way possible. So if you and he doesn't even have to throw stuff at you. Like he's just really good marksman, and like if he's aiming at you, he's guaranteed not to miss unless you just block what he sends your way. So Electra wound up dying in that movie. Sorry for the spoiler. So that was a waste of a character. All right, cool. So we get a spinoff, a solo Electra movie with Jennifer Garner, and that did horrible with critic reviews. I liked it, but it had like really bad critical reception back then, which was very unfortunate because the character deserved good, and I think Jennifer Gardner, she some respect for the work that she put in to be that character. Like, come on, man. And I'm googling right now who played Elektra in the Netflix series.
My queen.
Daredevil, Elektra, Netflix.
My queen.
She was played by Elodie Young.
Baddie.
And she is absolutely gorgeous. And if you side by side her with comic book Elektra, and you see the backstory that they gave her during the Netflix series, it's just like, man, they gave so much love to this character. And it's like, these are like street level Marvel heroes too. So it was like the MCU could have started with these street level guys way back in the 2000s, and we would have been so happy with it. And they decided to get a little bit more super powered with it. Gave us Iron Man, Spider-Man, and all this other stuff. And I can't complain. I cannot complain at all. Like I'm looking at these Google images here, and it's just like, yeah, Elektra has always been an absolute bombshell and badass. And she's as far as the MCU goes, if everything in Daredevil is canon now, she is currently dead. So nobody really expects to see Elodie Young in future seasons. That would be awesome if we could get one more resurrection from her. But if you're caught up on the Netflix series, like seasons 1, 2, and 3, like we've already had to face a resurrected Elektra before. So the odds of her showing up again in future Daredevil Born Again seasons is not that likely. But it's okay though, because everything's good. Uh, Blake said he liked Ben Affleck as older Bruce Wayne, but didn't like him as Batman, and that's totally understandable. Uh, his Batman was kind of cool. Uh, Off the top of my head, who would I say would be my favorite Bruce Wayne? Because Christian Bale was my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman was okay because it was the Killing Joke Batman, post Killing Joke Batman, and we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with him as Bruce. We all we know is he's just visiting the mausoleum where his parents are buried at, and he's still grieving apparently, or just trying to get over the fact that his parents are dead. All right, cool. So we know you're Bruce Wayne. Snyderverse just didn't do him any justice at all. So I was already over that. Like, there are some roles that Ben Affleck can have in superhero movies, and he just keeps getting the wrong one. So I'm like, Ben Affleck should just leave superheroism alone for a while until a director offers him the role that he deserves and make sure it's long term.
He seems happier anyway without outside of the superhero. He didn't apparently, being Batman wasn't great for him anyway. So I'm glad he found more happiness doing like the accountant too and stuff, because he's talented, of course. I mean, he co-wrote Good Will Hunting, one of my favorite movies ever made. So
I forgot Good Will Hunting was one of his too. Not obsessed with it, but definitely a good movie worth going to see more than once.
Top 20 movie for me. Love Good Will Hunting. But yeah. But anyway, I guess back to what your experience with Daredevil is after that movie, I guess. And also, before I forgot to say, I never watched that Elektra movie.
Yeah, a lot of people were kind of just told not to go see it because it was just like they hated it so much. I saw it. From what I remember, it wasn't that bad. It was a little bit a step up from the Daredevil movie, I will admit. Maybe that's just me in my opinion. A lot of people, the same people that hate the Elektra spinoff, hated the Daredevil movie. And I hated the Daredevil movie, but I liked the Elektra spinoff. So
I forgot it even existed. Like, I didn't even know it, like, until like a few years ago, I realized, oh crap, there was an Elektra movie in like 2004.
Yeah. I wish it got better love. I wish they would have treated it better.
Yeah, go like the Elektra movie.
Yeah, Elektra was a good time. It was just like, if the Elektra movie would have came out before Daredevil, I would have shitted on the movie even harder. So the fact that Deadpool and Wolverine decided to give us our Jennifer Garner back, Elektra back. She even got a couple jabs in at Ben Affleck during the movie. That was pristine. Weird combination of characters though, because it's just like a dead Elektra and Blade are helping Deadpool and Hugh Jackman.
They just had to find ones from the Fox universe, I guess.
Right? It's just like, you're from the Fox? All right, cool. Join our team. Like, all right. That is the most unlikely squad of all time, but it works. It worked. It did work. It was very bold of Sean Levy to do this, but we are thankful nonetheless. But on from the Affleck and Jennifer Garner world, Charlie Cox, the man who was born to be Matt Murdock. He in real life, he is not blind. He plays the shit out of a blind man.
I know. I love those memes where people. There's so many on the internet where people figure out. Wait, Charlie Cox is not blind.
Yeah,
I love that.
He plays it so good, man. It's like you might as well have sight because your vision is just so much better than everybody else's. Your hearing is better, and the echolocation to help you just track things down better than anybody else.
I'll say this right now. I think Charlie Cox's Daredevil is a top 5 comic book character portrayal in any media of all time ever.
Hands down.
He's one of my favorite actors that play a comic book character ever. Always will be top 5. I think he's magnificent, perfect. I love that man.
Absolute legend, man. I got to meet him and Vincent D'Onofrio in person. I got
I
a picture
forgot
with him.
that. I forgot
Yeah,
that. It's
I
awesome.
got video footage of me talking to him, and he gives a shout out to Blake Hickman during the video too. So he's signing one of his posters from the original Netflix Daredevil series for Blake because he couldn't make it to the con in Nashville. And I was like, oh man. And he even shook me up for it. He was just like, man, mad respect for you going out of your way to get this for a friend. And then I went and spent like nearly $200 to get a photo op with both of them. So it was just like,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, if I knew that was happening, I definitely would have done the same.
absolutely. I met Deborah Ann Wall that same convention too, because she was sitting right next to Vincent and Charlie. Greatest, most fun conversation I've ever had with a celebrity ever. She is such a huge nerd like the rest of us, and she is really about that action too. And she's not afraid to get up and walk around the convention and meet people face to face. Like she will literally not hang out with the celebrities and just go see the convention guests. Like, whoa. She'll even stop by table to table to see what people are doing. Deborah Ann Wall, aka Karen Page, both in the MCU and the Netflix series now. Down to earth, awesome, huge sweetheart. Uh, I did not meet Foggy Nelson's actor, and who is that guy? He is played
Eldon
by
Page, right? Eldon Henson. Eldon Henson.
Eldon Henson.
Yeah.
Whew.
I said Eldon Page, like he's married to Karen Page, but anyway. Eldon Henson. He was in the Mighty Ducks when he was a kid. I remember him from. He's one of the Mighty Ducks way back in the day.
Oh wow!
He was also in Idle Hands. If you've ever seen Idle Hands, a very underrated horror comedy. Idle Hands. Shout out that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Idle Hands, but Mighty Ducks is just like sends me way back into the 90s. Wow. Blake says, me and Charlie go way back. Such a great guy and a really good lawyer. Absolutely. He's definitely one of the best television lawyers I've seen, bar none. Like Matt Murdock in the comics was a damn good lawyer, but him and the writers behind the Daredevil TV shows take his lawyer work to a whole nother level. And we get to see a lot of that Daredevil Born Again. And we even have one episode dedicated to Matt just going to work like he's supposed to. Yep, Deborah Ann Wall was also great in True Blood. She's been known for some crazy good roles. She's also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she has something to do with Dungeons and Dragons. She's like a well-known dungeon master. A lot of the content she makes on the side. She's really good at what she does, and she will nerd the hell out about it. Like if you watch interviews of her, like whenever she's at a con and like a guest asks her a question about D&D, she goes off. She goes completely off, and I absolutely love that for her. The Bruise Bros. Yeah, Kimpachi in the comments. Shout out to Kimpachi. He says, you guys talking about that show that just ended. Matt Murdock, Ace Attorney. Great lawyer show, but it seemed it was missing someone. Missing someone or something. Idle Hands is getting a remake. I did not know that.
I mean, I don't think it needs a remake. It's a classic late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in that era. Horror comedy. It's amazing. It's got Devon Sawa from Final Destination in it. Who else is in that movie? Oh, Jennifer, what's her name? Not Aniston. She played Invisible Girl.
Jessica Alba?
Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba is also in Idle Hands and amazing as always. But yeah, Idle Hands, shout out that underrated horror comedy. Love that movie.
Oh, yeah. Kimpachi says, yes, she is. She has paid the DM games for people and has made many TV series playing D&D. Absolute legend. And that was about Deborah Ann Wall. of course.
Yeah, shout out. I agree with Blake right here. It had 5 episodes as Daredevil, 4 episodes of Mad. I think it was balanced perfectly. I don't get the. We'll get into it when we get into the show, but I don't get the complaint with there was not enough Daredevil in this series. I thought we got plenty. Uh, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But I guess back to the thing. When did you get like into the we got to the Ben Affleck part, and then after that, how did your Daredevil kind of go from that? Your Daredevil fandom.
Oh, now that I think about it, it was because Ben Affleck. I hated Daredevil so much that I was not one of the first people to jump on the Netflix series. So it took me a long time. Like by the time I finally started watching Daredevil, they were already making the announcement that season 3 was coming. So I had 2 whole seasons to watch, and I do not know what convinced me. Like I had friends raving about the first 2 seasons so hard, and it just repeatedly, and I just folded. And I was like, you know what? If there's nothing else Marvel for me to watch since I've seen all the movies, I might as well just watch this one show, give it a chance. And holy crap, by like episode 2 or 3, I could not leave the TV series alone. Charlie Cox was definitely meant for it. I honestly, a lot of people complain about him not getting the suit sooner, and it's just like, come on, man. Like if you understand the comics, it's just like it's just not always automatic with people. Love Deborah Ann Woll's Karen Page. Let's see. And then we got, I believe it was the Hand. So we got one season about the Hand, which is a it's like a terrorist organization. There's like a lot of assassins in it, a lot of soldiers that know martial arts and are really good at what they do. That season 2 was definitely one of my favorites. The show pulled no punches, lots of violence. When Matt Murdock was getting laid, he got laid on the show. So it's just like he was the absolute Riz master, had girls galore on him. And of course, that's not what made me stick to the show, but it appealed so heavily to adults. And that whole universe was about like not pulling their punches, the cussing. And it's just like, I'm not watching some kid shit. Like things is nitty gritty and serious about this show. Luke Cage was the same way. Jessica Jones was definitely the same way. Stayed true to her comics, bar none. And I just fell in love with that universe. I think I did Luke Cage first. It was either Luke Cage or Punisher that I did first, and then it was just like, you know what, I'm gonna fold and do the Daredevil, and I'm so glad I did it. Now I'm caught up, and I watched Born Again, and I'm just like comparing the 2 different TV series, and Born Again is not living up to the legend that the Netflix series was, but it was still, in my opinion, the best live action Marvel show out to this very day.
Oh yeah, MCU wise, it clears every MCU show.
Like leaps and bounds. Like I would say Daredevil Born Again as far as the MCU goes, and then Loki. And honestly, I might be the only person that feels this way, but I loved Captain America, or no, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's what it was. I loved it. I would love to see more of Bucky and Sam Wilson's team ups and goofing off together. So that was awesome. Yeah, Luke Cage, like Mike Coulter keeps saying that he'll never come back, but it's just like, I bet he's lying. There was one scene in particular in Daredevil Born Again where he's just like, I need an army behind me, and it's just like, if you're going to have an army, you don't really have an army of cops behind you. So what else is going to help you take back the city? Other vigilantes. And who better than one of the main heroes for hire, Luke himself. But we in the MCU, we currently don't have one. The closest we'll get to that is if Feige and Coulter are sneaking behind our backs. It says, Mike, we're bringing you in. And Mike's just like, all right, we got a surprise for you guys. So all we could do is have good faith about it. Blake says Born Again is perfectly fine, good enough for me to be close enough and to now be canon, so I can't complain.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's a lot of yeah. It sucks. The MCU, they're still not, they're still on shaky ground with me. So I get that, but yeah, for the show to have to take episodes that they didn't film, this creative team, a previous creative team didn't had filmed previously, and they had to edit those scenes in with the new after the overhaul, and they had to fit this dark show about religion, faith. There's murder, there's sex, there's all kinds of things that very taboo for Disney. For them to be able to mesh them together, and I mean that's why I call this I think a great season, is because it had to fit it in that MCU blender. Unfortunately, but if we want more Daredevil, well, we kind of have to take that compromise, and I think it did it near as perfectly as it could. Near perfect. I mean, I do have some issues, and we'll talk about it, but I think they had such a hard job. Such a hard job, and I applaud it. And and that's coming from somebody who on this show I'm starting to become known as an MCU hater. I've gotten a few times. It's like I'm an MCU hater. I'm not though. MCU is one of the first things that I really got into movies was because of the MCU. See, like Blake, right in the comments, people have this notion that I hate the MCU. I don't hate the MCU. I've just you're on shaky ground with me. I'm giving them the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four this year, and if those are great, I'm back on. If they're not, I'll just watch my Daredevil, and that's all I need from the MCU. And Spider-Man too. If it's Spider-Man, I'm gonna watch it, but that's just because I'm a Spider-Man whore. But other than that, I'm done with the MCU. So, like I said, they got two more shots but I mean, they knocked it out of the park with Born Again, and they really brought me back. Where I was like, okay, MCU, I'm gonna give you a shot because you did well. The fact that Kevin Feige had the balls to fire a whole creative team and say, no, this isn't working, and bring it back. I mean, that shows me that they care enough, about
exactly
about it and about Daredevil, that they want to do the fans right.
Yeah, honestly, the shout out to Jamie in the comments. Yeah, Thunderbolts is definitely this weekend actually. So we're going to see it Thursday night, and then Blake is going back to see it Saturday night. So that is going to be crazy.
Hey, shout out Blake. I am supposedly going to hopefully see it Saturday night with a buddy wants to see it Saturday night. So maybe I'll catch you, Blake. Maybe, possibly, hopefully.
Yes. Shout out to Tess. Thank you for tuning in. She says, what about Thor? As far as movies go,
Love and Thunder killed it for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder is probably my least favorite MCU movie. So
Love and Thunder was like foul and like really disrespectful. I can't believe Taika Waititi would do this to us because
I'm done with Taika after that movie. Like that ruined Taika for me because like they took Christian Bale and made him a god killer, and they absolutely fumbled Christian Bale as a god killing villain. Like, how do you take Christian Bale and make him a villain in the MCU, a god killer, and you waste him completely?
Yeah, he killed like 1.5 gods on screen, and it struggled with everybody else. Like Thor isn't supposed to like chase him off by any means. So it's like, oh, by the way, we need one more Thor to keep him busy. So it's Jane and Thor, and that's it. And all right, 2 guys. All right, whatever. But and the fact that Taika's responsible for what was the Thor Ragnarok? So Thor Ragnarok, good critical reception. A lot of people have good things to say about it. I liked it until I found out that they crammed the Planet Hulk storyline into it, which is completely unnecessary. They did it for the sake of moving along on a timeline, and that had to be done. But if you have to rush anything, shit is going to go sideways, and not a good strategical move for them. things turned out all right in the end because everything led up to the Avengers movies, but still, Planet Hulk, like I understand there's a property situation with Universal and getting the Hulk to have a standalone movie is damn near impossible right now. But you could have waited. You could have waited for Planet Hulk. I don't think you really needed it prior to Infinity War and Endgame. You really didn't need Planet Hulk storyline. I get it. He's on the planet, and Thor and Bruce Banner running into each other is something that just had to happen. But we could have gotten that. We could have gotten Planet Hulk as a backstory movie, how he ended up there and what he was doing. That could have been a whole movie itself.
Yeah.
That
But
Taika Waititi fumbled. Yeah.
But, back to Daredevil, I think we'll get it. I think we've set it up good enough with the MCU, and we talked about the creative rewrites and the Punisher coming back, and both of our experiences with Daredevil. Have you read any? The only thing that I have to ask you about your experiences, I know you talked about the comics a little bit, so how much do you know about you definitely know a lot more than me. I've never read a Daredevil comic, so have you read any of the comics, like the Born Again comic or any of these?
Yeah, actually, that's like one of the few comics I've read from Marvel. Daredevil Born Again is actually got me started on my collection on collecting Marvel comics. Frank Miller did that run. Same guy from like movies like Sin City and all kinds of other awesome shit. And Daredevil Born Again is probably like the premier comic for the Daredevil franchise. And if anybody read that prior to reading Born Again or watching Born Again as a TV series, you'll know like it's not panel for panel accurate, but they've kept all the right elements for it. Like we met Muse in the TV series. We got to see Bullseye in the outfit that he deserves to be. And Wilson Fisk ran for mayor and won. So he is now the current mayor of New York, and he's about to push legislation for anti-vigilantes. So it's going to be outlawed for mass superheroes to go around saving people. And it's also going to be outlawed for masked villains as well. But there's going to be a lot of emphasis on that task force to tracking down all these vigilantes. Like Daredevil, spoiler alert, is currently homeless. His apartment went bye-bye because of that task force. And now he is kind of on the run. He's a lot more dangerous now more than ever. And there may be casual team-ups with Punisher. And Punisher, straight out the gate, you cross him with this anti-vigilante shit, you're going to get shot in the heart. So,
yeah.
So leave both of them alone when you see them. I absolutely love that.
Shout out. We get, and it's been confirmed. They've confirmed it on Twitter now that is Spider-Man's theme that they play at the end of Daredevil. So they have confirmed it. The Newton brothers who did the score for this series did confirm on Twitter that they did incorporate Spider-Man's theme there at the end. So I think we will get some Daredevil Spider-Man interaction either in season 2, because it comes out right before Brand New Day, the new Spider-Man movie, a few months before. That's another great thing about the show. We only have to wait a year. It comes out March 2026. Season 2 is already in production right now. They're shooting it right now. So we don't have to wait long. And yeah, Spider-Man is probably going to be. We're going to see Daredevil and Spider-Man. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I absolutely love seeing that, and we're way overdue for it because those two have been teaming up. Those are some of the oldest cameos and crossovers in Marvel Comics. Even in the animated TV shows, like Daredevil always showed up
in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
in the
and
90s
then Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man always faced off with Kingpin in the cartoon at the very least. Spider-Man faced off just about everybody. But in the animated TV series, it was always important that it was at the end of the day, it came down to Wilson Fisk versus Peter Parker, which that's cool. So the fact that Wilson Fisk and Daredevil Born Again acknowledged that there's a dude swinging around New York in a spider suit, and they're about to be on a collision course at some point. So that's going to be pretty sick. Let's see if Sony lets him go so he can do this in New York.
I know we're jumping around here, but I have to say before I forget, the ending, the end of Born Again, it was a little underwhelming for me with they kind of rushed the last 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
but they played everything in its right place by Radiohead.
Woo.
At the end, and that ending, it gave me goosebumps, even though it wasn't that great. Just because seeing Daredevil mixed with that song, I love that song. I watched Vanilla Sky like a year or so ago, and ever since I watched Vanilla Sky, that song is used in that movie, and I've loved that song ever since. So when they started playing that, and you see Daredevil giving his speech and getting all hyped up, I was like, "Oh, come on now,
man!"
I was so hyped for that ending with everything in its right place by Radiohead. Great song choice. It was just pretty badass. And then we got it had some great music throughout. They had some great like songs they added in the endings that I really liked.
Yeah, and it's just like, and they were just like, since it's an MCU TV series, we got to give it a post-credit scene. And I think Daredevil Born Again had like two, like there was one mid and one end. One of them in particular was about just the Punisher being held captive and how he was going to get out and do whatever he has to do. And that whole sequence of events was just stupid. It's just like, oh, you're a fan of me, right? Come here and shake my hand. It's just like, what director in their right mind would be like, I know we need some comedy, but that was a little bit... That shouldn't have went down that way. If Punisher is going to break out of being held captive, he could have done literally anything else, and he just said, "All right, you're a fan. You're a Punisher fan. Come shake my hand." And the dumbest thing you could possibly do is walk up to a Frank Castle that's locked up and on the verge of setting himself free, and you're just going to hand him the keys to his cell. Basically, and it's going to be a painful way for him to get those keys too. And if you've seen it, you know. Yeah. So Punisher's back out, so he'll probably be back again for Daredevil season 2. And as a Punisher fan, I am so excited for that. So excited for more Bullseye. Kingpin is like my top 5 favorite Marvel villains of all time. So Wilson Fisk, perfect casting with Vincent D'Onofrio. Nobody else has done it better than him. Can't wait to see him again too. Mayor Fisk.
Vanessa. But yeah,
Blake can actually do a really good impression of Kingpin. This is very surprising to me.
Yeah, and let's since we're kind of jumping around here, let's talk about how Matt Murdock always gets the baddie. He may be blind, but his taste in women, that man is not blind somehow. He's got some sight, because my God, his taste in women is just like, from Karen to Elektra to what was the nurse's name? Rosario.
Oh, Claire.
I know her. That's the actress's name. Her, and then we get Heather in this one. Heather is a baddie in this show too. I was like, dang. I was like, all right, Matt.
Yeah, there was one episode in Daredevil Born Again where he's flirting with like a prosecutor, and she's kind of cute too. And it's like, damn. And it just comes so naturally to him. It's like, damn, you just talk to women like it's just the fuck. What's wrong with you, Matt?
Ultimate Riz master for sure.
Yeah. I was like, don't come off like a womanizer, sir. Like chill, get you one and just stay to yourself, okay, sir? But shit happens, right? He struggles sometimes. You get the girl, but the relationship doesn't always pan out.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Disney kind of, at least in my opinion, Disney took a hit because it's just like, like Matt and Heather's making love, and Like if it was on the Netflix exclusively, they would have had no problem putting emphasis on their scenes. And Disney just like, no, children might be watching. But you literally have the Netflix show in its entirety on Disney Plus. So
They also have a Nora on Disney Plus.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I think they have the other two Deadpool movies too. So there's really no excuse to be skimpy on Daredevil content. Punisher is just as crazy. Like Netflix Punisher was very graphic, uh, sexual content, cussing, violence, everything. Luke Cage was, Jessica Jones was, and it's just like, but we're still going to skimp Born Again because whatever, whatever, dude.
Yeah, Matt does have mad riz.
He does.
Sure.
Oh,
Heather needs to go. What's this hate on Heather? Do you have a hate for Heather, Deante? I've been seeing so many people online that are like, I see so many memes of people like hating Heather and be like, don't get you a Heather, get you a Vanessa. Vanessa cheated on Kingpin.
Yeah, she sure did. The thing I like about Vanessa more than Heather is
I'd take Heather all day, but that's just me.
Yeah, when Vanessa came back around, she came back around for her man, and she went hard for Wilson ever since. And
I mean, yeah, she did kill the guy she cheated on him with.
she did. She sure did.
But you know, yeah, and that's one thing I have an issue with. Heather and Matt's relationship was not developed that great at all. She's by far, it's not the actress's fault. It's by far the weakest female that he's had in his life when it comes to the entire series. And it's just because it's not well written enough. It's just not like, yeah, I'm excited for that special, but yeah, that because she doesn't like, yeah, because she said she saved herself when Daredevil saved her. I get that, but like, I don't get the hate for her. I thought she was overall a good character. I just think she was very underwritten.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like that just needed more. That's one of my issues with the show is him and Heather's relationship needed way more development. And all of a sudden she turns to work for Fisk. Like just like that. Like,
yeah, she
like,
just Team Fisk out of nowhere. Just like,
it was just like I said, that ending was really rushed, and I think, yeah, they needed a lot more development between him and Heather for sure.
Hey, you know what's crazy is she still does not know Matt is Daredevil. Like Matt didn't even reveal his true identity to her. And she just sits in the same room as him talking mad shit about a dude that stopped her from getting maimed by a fucking serial killer. And it's like, damn, you could even say thank you. Like, I know you can't tell Matt thank you, but you could at least been like, all right, vigilantes ain't as bad as I thought they were. I'm just going to full on jump on Team Fisk, even though he is formerly Kingpin, which is insane because it's like, I wish there was like a little bit more in-depth psychological understanding of what went through New Yorkers' minds when they voted for Kingpin, because everybody knew he was Kingpin. And it's just like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool idea to have Kingpin as mayor of New York. Well, you're about to fuck around and find out. There's consequences to that, and it's going to be very messy. But back to Heather and Vanessa. So Vanessa, she held down the empire while Kingpin was gone. Kingpin was gone for so long that she had a small affair. Big whoop. It's not something I would bust her ass about. It's just like, all right, cool. Like they're going to marriage counseling. Heather is the marriage counselor. They're fixing it. And it's just like, oh, Heather is in the position to be a very awesome character. Like she's in a position to understand both Wilson and Matt, but she's choosing to side with Wilson, and it's just their relationship is about to get worse and worse until they just break up, and she's full on doing what she can to make Wilson's life easier. So it's just like, so you know they're going to break up because Matt has so many love interests in Marvel Comics, so he's not meant to marry her by any means. But like, damn, man, like Heather had potential to be something awesome, and
yeah, they definitely underwrote her for sure.
That's
One of my
facts.
issues. Another issue is to be so hateful towards vigilantes when they use it to protect the innocent makes no sense. Yeah, like I said, her whole turn was rushed. Like definitely, you could tell it was rushed. And yeah, maybe that is the comic. Like I said, I haven't read the comics. I don't know how Heather is in the Born Again or whatever, but
Yeah, she's about as temporary as she is in the TV show. So it's just like, all right, cool, because put one push come to shove, Matt might wind up back with Karen again. If we do see Elektra again, Matt could always wind up back with Elektra. It's just no telling because Matt, I think, uh, any fact checkers in the comics, Matt's been married at least twice in Marvel's canon. So and, I I don't know why his relationships be going south like that. Like, bro, you know he's a vigilante. You know his life is hard. Uh, to balance a relationship in the midst of all that chaos is just like it's not an easy thing for Matt to do. So
also
he deserves a woman that gives him leadway for the lifestyle he lives.
Karen Karen also has a thing obviously for the Punisher. They obviously got some chemistry going on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
We
kind
got
of a
some
little love triangle going on there.
we got some verbal confirmation on that this season too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fisk is up there for me. Fisk is like up there with Magneto. I also like I would say Norman Osborn is up in my top 5 Marvel villains. And there's a couple more that I'm probably forgetting to mention, but that's neither here nor there.
Fisk
Daredevil's Rose Gallery is awesome.
Fisk is like just a big baby. He really
He
is.
really is.
If you think about him, he's just a big baby. If something doesn't go his way, he completely overreacts. You can tell he definitely has OCD. The way he eats cracks me up. The way it's just hilarious. It's like it takes him like an hour to set everything up perfect. It takes him an hour to. It's just hilarious.
They really dig the knife in him for some of his mannerisms too. I love that shit. That's major attention to detail when it comes to Wilson Fisk. Because Wilson Fisk, like as far as comic books and cartoons, he's just like all right, I have a goal and an objective that I need to accomplish. Somebody accomplish a goal for me, or I'm going to kill you. And that's all. That's all there is to Kingpin. So to give him more depth in the TV show makes me love him so much more.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is great. It's Wilson Fisk, obviously. I mean, definitely like right there, one of the best comic book villain portrayals live action for sure.
Easily. And he has a team behind him too. So I will start with this. Oh damn. Technical difficulties, guys. Technical difficulties. Jacob will be back after this. I will dabble just a little bit on what I was about to say. So Kingpin. Damn, what was I about to say? So Kingpin, he's pretty much in live action. If you belittle him or you downgrade him or talk to him a certain kind of way, this dude is like, all right, I'm going to strangle you. I'm going to break your neck. You stand in my way. You undermine the work that I'm making, and he's going to hurt you. And I like the way the TV series built up to that. He's like, I'm going to try to be Mayor Wilson Fisk for as long as I possibly can, but if people keep getting in my way, some bodies are about to drop. And at a certain point, he's just like, fuck it. I'm not pulling my punches no more. I'm going to be Mayor Kingpin now. And it's like, God, he's just like, stop giving Kingpin excuses to kill you. And people just don't. They don't stop giving him excuses to kill. So Jacob's back, but I think his mic is off.
I'm back?
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
I would have technical difficulties at this point in time. That's just my life, you know?
Right.
Like Daredevil battling the villains, Kingpin, I'm battling my internet. So
Yeah, I had some trouble with my MacBook. We would have started at 6:30 right on the dot, but it is just like everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong always at the last minute.
They don't want us to talk about Daredevil for some reason.
So bad. It's like Jesus Christ, man. Come on, throw us a
Man, I love
bone
this show.
here.
Let me freaking go crazy over it.
This was the one MCU project I was looking forward to the most, too. I didn't give a shit
Oh
about
yeah.
anything else.
Oh yeah,
Like I
by
didn't
far.
care.
When I saw
Hmm
this, I was like, Fantastic Four, who? I don't care. Like, give me Daredevil.
Like, geez, Louise. I didn't care about. I honestly I didn't care about Thunderbolts. I didn't care about Thunderbolts, Ironheart, Cat 4. I didn't care about none of that. I was like, give me Born Again and it better be prestige. And they did as good as they possibly could with it,
The
even with
only
the slop.
the only thing they got me with Thunderbolts because of all the A24 connections they've been trying to tie.
Hmm
Because of the A24 connections, they've got me with Thunderbolts because of that, sadly. But so we'll see. We'll see how A24 it is. But it better be that type of movie if they're advertising it like that. But yeah, back to Daredevil. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think this season did the best it possibly could for the most part. Like I said, I had the issues with Heather and her development with Matt. That was so rushed. Ending was rushed. Also, it didn't bother me, but it probably bothered a lot of comic fans. Muse was definitely underused. No,
Yeah.
not trying to rhyme there, but that I rhymed. That's bars. Muse was underused, but yeah,
Yeah.
like he came in and I'll say right off the bat though, I didn't know anything about Muse. I didn't even know Muse I didn't know anything about Muse until our buddy Nick in the group chat was like, Muse is like this underrated villain, like he was telling me and Deante. And then, I was like, I've never even heard of Muse. So I didn't even know about Muse until this show. And then I was like, there's no way Disney's going to do a serial killer on Disney Plus show. And then they do it. And then he uses his victim's blood to do paintings. I was like, maybe I'm a sicko. I mean, American Psycho is one of my favorite movies of all time. So maybe this reveals me as a psycho, but I loved that they kept that darkness in there. And then he even kidnaps a child and almost tries to murder a child until Daredevil comes in and kicks his ass. But I couldn't believe that Disney let a serial killer be in the show. And then they also let him be able to use his victim's blood for his paintings. They let that detail be a thing. And then they also let him kidnap a child and almost kill her if Daredevil didn't save her. I could not believe Deante can vouch. I was in the chat like, I can't believe Disney Plus is doing this right now. I was so proud of the MCU and Disney for allowing that to happen. And maybe that means I'm a sicko, but you know what? I love that dark stuff. And I was just like, yes, like, give me that.
Yeah, and then the Born Again comics, like Muse doesn't even die nearly as fast as that. He drops a lot of bodies before he even remotely comes close to death. So removing him from live action is kind of like a huge injustice. But rumor has it he's supposed to be back in season 2. But how if he's dead? So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be explained going forward. And Muse dying as fast as he did, not being put behind bars is wild.
He was so underdeveloped.
Yeah,
It was just, like I was saying, they had to they had that stuff they shot before that they had to add in there. So I don't know if that could have added to him being underdeveloped because they had to involve this other footage that the other team shot. I don't know if that could have been a problem too, but Muse was definitely underutilized for sure.
absolutely. And the fact there were some things about Muse that was revealed in the show that wasn't in the comics. Like I actually didn't know that he was a Taekwondo master. I knew he was capable in hand-to-hand combat as far as like facing Daredevil and holding his own, because Daredevil's like one of the top hands in all of Marvel. So to be able to hold your own against Daredevil, he ain't no joke. But still, like, to have Heather gun him down and then NYPD show up and bag him up, it's just like, damn, it's sad to see him go so soon.
Yeah, but I loved what we got when we got it. And oh my god, when he is sitting there and Matt, when the music swells and he's looking down the train tracks and you see something coming real fast at him and you see how big his eyes get, and then Daredevil just comes out in his suit for the first time in the entire series and punches him. I was like, I yelled at that moment. I had such a fanboy moment. That was such a fanboy scream for me. I was just like, yes, like he's back. My boy's back.
He is so back. Uh, let's see. I think the niece of White Tiger, is meant to have a bigger future role. I think he takes up his mantle, so it would make a lot of sense that the experience leads her to want to take up that mantle.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
And it's just like,
also Jenna Ortega was actually tied to be the White Tiger at some point. There was rumors that she was tied. I don't know. I think she's off the project now. I doubt she'll be it. But there was a point in time when she was tied to be the White Tiger's niece, basically take on the mantle of the White Tiger and be. But that may have been before they did the creative overhaul. I'm not sure when that. I remember that article coming out. I don't remember where it's from, but I don't know if she'll still do that. That'd be great if she did. But I mean, they kind of have a new girl now that's a little younger, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you put Jenna Ortega in Daredevil, that's gonna just make me die of happiness. Like
absolutely. Like,
viewers of the podcast know, me and Jenna Ortega, we're like this, you know.
way back.
We're like this. We're close.
It was Jenna Ortega and like one other actress. Was it Jennifer? No, it wasn't Jennifer Love Hewitt, was it?
I don't remember.
You mentioned somebody in like the last two episodes. I can't remember who her name is now. But
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler, that's who it was. Yeah, Rachel Zegler and Jenna Ortega. That's Jacob's two right there.
My wifey's, and Isabella Merced from Alien Romulus, and now Dina in The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh man, love Isabella Merced. She
love
is
her.
The truth.
Those are my top three if we're talking. But yeah,
good God, oh man, that would have been insane though to see Jenna Ortega suit up as the new White Tiger. Like,
yeah,
and White Tiger was underwritten too. So now that I think about it, my score is starting to fall. I gave Daredevil Born Again such a really high score. Like, the dialogue between the characters is amazing. The fight scenes were pretty cool. And then
let's get into the fight scenes real quick.
Oh yeah.
I love the fight. The fight scenes were not near as well done as Netflix series. I don't think the punches were as visceral. I don't think the fight choreography was as good, and there was way too much CGI. Like the opening fight with Bullseye, I did not care for one at all. Like the whole one take sequence at the beginning with Bullseye, I was like, these are just rubbery people. Like it was so CGI'd, it just took me out of it. I just didn't care for that one take fight scene at all.
Yeah, it's just like they brought the same stunt choreographer from the Netflix series too, and they still somehow found the most underwhelming way to deliver like Daredevil fighting like his second in command arch nemesis.
And that's another thing too, is Bullseye, I think, was very underutilized in this season as well. I think season 2 will be better probably, but definitely Bullseye was not used well in this season at all.
I think the one thing they did right with him is the fact that they gave him his comic accurate suit, and the fact that you cannot have him show up anywhere without lots of bodies dropping. That that dude's damn near just as much of a serial killer as Muse is. He's more a hired gun sometimes.
Facts. Everyone praised the long scene with Bullseye, but it was personally a disappointment compared to Matt's hallway scene. I completely agree with that. Like, I don't think any of the fight scenes in this season touch any of the fight scenes in the Netflix series. The Netflix series was just so much better because it was like every season we had one take fight sequence in every season of that, and they were all miles better than the Bullseye with the CGI. I just did not care for that whatsoever.
Easily. And what's even crazier is that there was a Punisher and Daredevil team up in the Netflix series, and that fight was better than the Punisher team up in Born Again.
Oh, yeah, by far.
It's like, what in the world? So like, it's because of small things like that, like all the underwhelming moments within the series. It kind of makes me go like from giving this show a 10 out of 10 to like I'm fighting so hard to stay away from an 8.5, but I don't really have a choice.
Yeah,
Like,
just like yeah, I just that opening did worry me for the whole season. When the season started and I watched that opening, I was like, oh, I was like, please don't let all the fight scenes be like that. I will say the Muse fight scene is really well done. When he fights Muse to save the White Tiger's niece, that was actually a really good fight scene.
mm-hmm.
Uh, like I said, when he comes out of the train tracks and we first see him in a suit, that's amazing. And the music swells. I really like that.
Yeah, in the Netflix Daredevil series, there was like little to no CGI at all, and they were so CGI heavy with Born Again.
It's just that
Like,
MCU. It's that I think it's that MCU thing where they just love to shoot on those blue and green screens, and they can't help themselves. They got to use it.
yeah, and it's just like that very first episode, like the entire sequence of Daredevil swinging from rooftop to rooftop, and then he lands on a stairway. His entire body is CGI until he lands. It is just like we can see it. And it's like, bro, what the hell, bro? You honestly, I didn't need to see that. Like, you can show Daredevil swinging into a fight, but like going from rooftop to rooftop is just like, if it's not going to be stunted, I don't care about it. Screw the
Yeah.
CGI, leave it out. I do not care.
And I saw their explanation. I saw somebody they gave an explanation was that they wanted to make it more comic booky, where they wanted like like some stuff Daredevil does in the comics, a human being could not do in real life, which is fair, but still the Netflix series didn't have to do that, and it was great. So why change it? Why change it? Especially if you wanted to keep it in line with the Netflix series, you should have kept that continuity of those fight scenes.
Yeah, and honestly, that one episode was like the heaviest usage of CGI. Like the rest of the series didn't need it.
Yeah, it
This is
wasn't
like,
that bad after that.
hell. I think
It
the
wasn't.
one other time was when the grappling hook went through Muse, and that was CGI, but they blended it so well that it looked like the grappling hook really went through him.
And I guess we need to talk about that. Is what do you think about them killing Foggy off at the beginning? A beloved character.
Nobody saw that coming, which is crazy because it's just like Foggy doesn't die for a long time in the comics, and when he does die, there's a separate story about how Foggy faked his death. So the internet went wild off the fact that Foggy could still be alive, and him and Karen were just staging some shit so they could get Foggy out of town or for
Well,
for
I
whatever
know
reason.
Foggy and Karen are already confirmed for season 2, so we're going to see more Foggy. So I don't know in what capacity, but I will say that's another thing. They did not develop. They didn't earn the Foggy death at the beginning for me completely. Like they didn't develop enough. They didn't have enough of Matt's struggle with it. They didn't show enough of his struggle with that. They didn't do that justice. So hopefully in season 2 we get more of the ramifications of Foggy's death and done better, I think. Hopefully.
Absolutely. It's what I'm thinking theoretically. Uh, they could do it the same way they did for Jessica Jones when the Purple Man died. Kilgrave, that was his name. So Kilgrave died in like season 1, but he always haunted and terrorized Jessica Jones from that point on, season 2 and 3. And that's what Foggy could taunt Matt Murdock that way. Uh, I don't. I honestly don't need to see any more Foggy Nelson on screen. Love Eldon Henson. It's just like somebody's grieving and you're shoving a knife into him and just. It's just
Man,
like
I love their friendship, man. And I really wish. I agree with you that if they did kill him off, I don't want them to bring him back. But also the way they killed him off in the first episode, and then they didn't really do enough with the ramifications of that, really just messed it up for me. Where I'm just like, man. So hopefully in season 2 they find a way to figure that out. For where I'm just like, okay, come on, yeah, we don't bring up Foggy. Yeah, and that's another thing. They weren't even. They brought him back after the creative overhaul, so they brought him back just to kill him off. So that's another thing that kind of rubs salt in the wound. It's like, well, you brought back one of our favorite characters, but then you just killed him off. So what was the point of that? And I feel like they didn't do enough to justify that death. Hopefully in season 2 they do, but for right now, for me, I don't think the justification of killing him off like that, just for the shock value or whatever, was justified. But we'll see.
Exactly. Like I can understand that being like the death in the finale, maybe, but even then, like it's so soon in the storyline for this to happen, and it's just like Marvel let their desperation show, and it's just like, bro, you're playing with your fan base right now, and it's reckless, a little reckless.
And another thing I really missed was one of my favorite things about the original series, and I'm just I'll be open about this here. I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian, and I love the religious aspects of those first 3 seasons where Matt is struggling because he's Catholic, like, and that's like a big part of his character. Like that's not just like being a Christian is a big part of the Daredevil's character in the comics, I know, and in the Netflix series. Like that's a big part of him. And they really, like in the Netflix series, him and his priest, those conversations they would have, some of the best dialogue in any TV show. He just had great conversations where, like, he's lacking faith, or he's, trying to overcome fear, or he's having problems with God, and he's this internal struggle with this faith is just like so captivating and relatable. As a, I like I said, I'm a Christian. I'm not Catholic, but I can relate with that internal struggle and that, that struggle with faith. So, and I really love that about the Netflix series. And there's so many beautiful dialogue between him and his priest, and like him and even Stick have some great dialogue there too.
Mm-hmm.
And also just like there's one where he talks about like God's plan and about it's a beautiful tapestry, but we only see it from the back, and it's all ugly and muddied, but God can see it on, like, just so many great lines that like I put on my Instagram story because it's just like so like relatable, like great things about faith and like that struggle. And they really did not do anything with that in this season, and especially the death of Foggy. You think they would have dove really hard into him, like questioning God, because his best friend just got murdered in front of him. And like, there's not that internal struggle. I know the priest died in the original Netflix series, so we can't have him with the priest, but he could have problems with his faith. And they didn't really touch on that at all. And that was one thing I did also miss from this season, was the faith aspect, for sure, because that's a big part of his character.
Yeah, it really is. And like, as far as Daredevil comics goes, like prior to Born Again, they didn't really touch on his Catholicism that much. But then as soon as Frank Miller came out with Daredevil Born Again, the comics, we got to get like a deep dive of like Matt struggling. Matt's like on the fence about killing people because he was about to be bloodlusted Daredevil for a while. There has been moments where Daredevil was just like, I will drop bodies, and he has. But after what Bullseye did, depending on how you tell the story, Bullseye always drops somebody close to Matt. And for this TV series, they happen to be Foggy Nelson, which is one of the closest people to him. So Daredevil had every right to start killing villains from that point on, and he knew he couldn't. So he fought crooked cops. He had the chance to kill them right then and there. He knew like some things were just more important than just snapping necks. And so I like that. So he had like maybe 2 or 3 instances where he had a talk with like a spiritual leader or guidance, and then he would even like read some scripture or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. That's enough to satisfy my need for now. But there needs to be episodes with references to his faith, like, and it just be all about him. Like, show some backstory. Maybe give him dreams where he's like talking to Foggy, or he's talking to his dad. And let us get to know Matt Murdock a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I definitely think they dropped the ball on the the faith aspect, sure, when I think about it more, I'm like, yeah, they definitely dropped the ball on that for sure. Where it's like it just wasn't touched on. They really avoided touching on the faith. Yeah, you don't see church, you don't see his mother. He talks a little bit, yeah, but yeah, and like a lot of that's another thing I think took a step back. I guess this is a good segue into that. Is the dialogue in this show was not nearly as well written as the Netflix series. It was almost too overhanded. Like there's one scene that really shines this for me, and it's when Karen and Daredevil or Matt. He's Matt at this time. Karen and Matt are talking, and they're looking for a file that Foggy was looking for, and they're in this file room, and they sit down and they have a talk, and the talk is just like, okay, I've heard Daredevil give the same speech probably 6 other times in the Netflix series, and all of them were done better and a lot more nuanced. And this just seemed like an overhanded, just like on the nose. And you could definitely tell that there were different writers that sadly were not as well. They didn't do as good writing. And maybe that was because of the whole creative overhaul and they had to rush things and do faster, write the script faster or whatever. But I just wish the dialogue would have been that Netflix series dialogue where we got like deep and dark, and we got like into his looks into his soul and his faith and all this, and I'll just like his conversation with Stick in the original.
Oh man!
Every time he talked to Stick, it was something that it was always just great nuggets of information and stuff, and you're just like, man, that just hits. Or like Absolutely. I said with the priest, priest, and all of them, and this basically had none of that. It was just overhand. There's one good, like even his dialogue at the end there with Karen. Like I said, it was just overhanded, and even his speech at the end where he's like, "I need an army," that felt overhanded. It didn't feel as nuanced as that Netflix series did. And man, the more we keep talking about this, the more I keep saying a lot of negative stuff about this show, and I'm just like, I still thought it was great, though. I want people to know that. I still think this is a great show because, like I said, and like Blake said earlier, they had to fit it into the MCU formula, and it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to mesh because the Netflix world that Daredevil came from into this MCU world are so different, and it's just like so hard to. And I know like I said, that I keep saying it, but it's very. If you make movies and stuff, you'd understand the creative overhaul. Like that's like if you're firing people halfway through production and then you have to include footage from other people's work into your own work, and then you're on a crunch because this has to be out by this time. Like I get that they may have not had enough time on some of the things, but at the same time it's like, man, it's like you did great for fitting it in there, but also you dropped the ball in a lot of ways at the same time, and I can't overlook that. I can forgive it a little bit more, but I also can't overlook it where I'm like, yeah, you could have done that better. You could, but I still love this show, and I think it's great.
Yeah, there's actually, and as far as like my opinion goes, like there has been some moments in the show where the dialogue has been pristine, and I think like the reason why dialogue takes a hit is because they're interchanging the writers for each episode. Like the same guy that wrote episodes 1, 2, and 3 is not the same guy that write 5 and 8 and 9. So it's just like that they're already setting themselves up for failure with that. Like one of my there's some really good conversations that happen. Like the conversations.
Episode 4 with the Punisher. I know what you're about to bring up.
Yeah, heart to heart with those two was a good conversation.
Heart with the Punisher about Foggy.
Yeah.
That was okay. We're in the Netflix peak right now. We're in the Netflix series right now. It's like we got taken back to the Netflix times where it's like, okay, we're getting the old Daredevil Punisher type conversations back. That was great. I will give them that. That was in a phenomenal sequence, episode 4 with that whole thing.
Yeah, there's a scene. There's a conversation that Matt has with So as his lawyer side, like when he's in court, like those conversations are good. So his court shit, everything he does as an attorney is prestige.
The one with it's the guy that gets arrested for stealing food.
Oh, Mr. Bradford, the caramel
his
corn.
his whole dialogue with him, and then when he talks to his I forgot her name, his associate partner. She's a character in the show that we haven't even mentioned yet. His
Are you talking
law,
about Kristen or
yeah, her. I mean, she's really not developed that much, but yeah, Kristen. His whole conversation with her about like, and when that one guy comes in and he's like a bad guy, and but they're trying to help him, and Matt kind of have his conversation with her. Is like, we're just
Whoa.
like this one guy gets in jail for stealing food, and we're over here helping this spoiled son of a
Entitled piece of shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
this entitled piece of shit. Like that was great too. That was great.
That conversation alone with Mr. Bradford about the caramel corn and all that, like that was like a play on like the African American experience with like the legal system. And like granted, like there's some parts that made me mad because it's just like Matt's going out his way to get you like less time on your parole, and you're just like, no, fuck that, give me freedom. And it's just like, okay, sir, dial that down a little bit, but everything else that surrounded that was like an accurate depiction of what like a public defender's conversation with an inmate could go. And Matt, like he usually does pro bono for his clients sometimes, but for the most part, he talks to all his clients the same way, and in being who he is, he doesn't have like that firsthand experience of what it's like to be a black guy in the system. And he got that conversation that he needed to hear. And he's like, God damn, the Mr. Bradford's right about some shit. And it's just like, there's really nothing I can do about it except just level up my talent as a lawyer. And I was like, damn, that scene should have had a whole lot more elaboration on it. We didn't see Mr. Bradford again for the rest of the first season, which was just like, all right. I guess Disney allowed that to be in just to be like a simple play on something. But either way, it was still good. It's worth everybody's time to listen in on that conversation. Because if you're coming at it like completely unaware, like Matt Murdock was, it's food for thought. It's food for thought. Like seeing somebody's perspective and take on legal stuff, like that was sick, well written. And then there was one more conversation that really hit the money with me. Not exactly the conversation between Matt and Hector Ayala. That was kind of cool the way they handled that. But,
I really liked I know White Tiger was underutilized. Yes, he was, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
I love the conversations that he had, especially when he was in the cell with Hector. I really liked that whole dialogue scene there. That was actually a really great dialogue scene for me too.
Yeah, the trial of Hector Ayala is like my top 2 episodes. Period. Like you didn't need Daredevil at all. Matt was in that courtroom fucking shit up. Even if he had to reveal to the whole world that he's White Tiger, he still found a way to win, and a jury found him not guilty of all his charges. And that's how a court case usually goes with Matt Murdock in the comics because he's just so good at what he does. And he's like one of the best fictional lawyers of all time. So I love Matt.
And I think we should say rest in peace to the actor that played Hector oh my god. Hector
Ayala.
Ayala. I cannot speak. My brain. I'm sorry, but yeah, rest in peace to him. I forgot his name, but
Camar de los Reyes.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. He sadly passed away from cancer. He didn't even get to see his final work, which is just really, really sad. Because he was great as the White Tiger. What they gave him, he was really great.
Yeah, like he has like all his fights were like pre-recorded fights of him taking on people with the suit on and his amulet. Because without the amulet, he's just like dog water. And he got into it with 2 crooked cops. One crooked cop ended up accidentally falling onto a subway train track and getting ran over. So that leads to him getting arrested. And Matt overhears him getting beat up and forced into signing a confession. And that's how he ended up becoming his attorney during that trial. And man, that it's everything that it's all the recipe and the ingredients you need for like a good Daredevil comic. Like one part of it, aspect of it, is Matt Murdock going to court and facing injustice through the right way or the paperwork way, and then you have Daredevil, who's just like, I go places where justice can't go, and I'm saving the world through that means. And it's just like, man, that is the perfect ingredient to a Daredevil comic.
Yeah, I wish they would have, like I said, focused more on the dichotomy of that whole situation a little better, with him struggling to want to be Daredevil. That turn probably could have been better as well. But I love when what episode is it? I think it's episode 4 or 6 whenever he first when the girl gets captured and he goes to fight Muse, and he's standing there and he basically he's standing there and he opens the thing and you see his helmet, the Daredevil helmet, and he just goes, fuck it, and then I love that he said that, and then it was just like, oh, he's Daredevil. I was like, let's go. I was like, come on.
Yeah, I stood up in my seat and I was like, yeah. I was so fucking hype about that, and it was just like, now this is what the Born Again is all about, because it's just like, there's some things in life that's just way more important than his pride, and it's just like you're rejecting the suit for whatever goofy ass reason you have, and it's just like people might end up getting innocent people might get hurt in the process of that, and he just wasn't going to take that shit, knowing that, oh, Angela Ayala went missing and she was currently in pursuit of the serial killer, and he's just like, oh shit, maybe he has her, so he's just like, oh hell no, get the suit, let's run these hands. And it's just like, all right, cool. That's our guilty pleasure moment. Even though he found Muse really freaking fast, he still showed up in time for her. So
yeah,
that's a little plot hole that I can live with.
Yeah,
like damn.
Yeah. It didn't bother me. I was just so locked in because he was just like, he just said, he's just like, fuck it. And then he just got his Daredevil suit. And I was just like, I was so locked in. I was like, let's go. I was so locked in. I did not even care about the logic of how he found him so fast.
Yeah, it's just like, all right. And that led to one of the best fights in the whole season 1.
Yeah. And like, maybe. I really like, I do like one thing they did. I know it was kind of like they needed a lot more development, so it may have been harmful to do this in this season. They maybe should have waited and done more development with the other stuff we talked about previously. But the whole episode 5, I think it is. Yeah, episode 5, the whole bottle, it's just like a bottled contained episode where he just stops a bank robbery. It doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the stuff going on. It was just like a contained episode. And I kind of like that. It was like a slice of like a day in the life of Daredevil type thing, where it was just like one off, let's do this. He stops a bank robbery, works with Kamala Khan's father, just basically and just stops a bank robbery. And I like that detour. I did. I know some people didn't care for it, but I really like that little detour we got, even though in the long run it may have hurt the development of some things. But I did like that.
Yeah, because like Miss Marvel and her family, they're like from Jersey City. So anybody that's fact checking, correct me if I'm wrong. Jersey City is like not that far off from New York, so that's why Dad can make the commute to that bank. But Miss Marvel herself is currently on the West Coast, from what I've been told. So if for whatever reason she comes back home, there's a setup for a potential like cameo team up for Daredevil and Miss Marvel. I doubt that'll happen, but if it does, I wouldn't complain. That'd be pretty cool to see on screen, because collaborations between Marvel characters happen all the time. So it wouldn't be a reach.
I love heist movies. So like just the thought of just like, even though Daredevil was breaking up the heist, I still like that just contained episode of Daredevil just, stopping the heist and just showing kind of like I said, it was just like a bottle episode. Didn't connect to the rest of the season or any of the themes. He just was being Daredevil for a day, stopping this bank robbery, and I really liked that. And I also liked when he just absolutely destroyed that man's leg.
Phew. Yeah. So the whole episode, he didn't even suit up. He just like when one of the robbers tried to escape and he caught him like sneaking off down the alleyway, he just found something, wrapped it around his head, and just proceeded to beat the living shit out of him. And it was
Yeah,
like, yeah, that is classic Matt Murdock for you.
just curb stomped his knee and just bone snapping. And I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Whew. Jeez Louise, man. That episode was good. I will say this. I'm not crazy over the likelihood of a Kamala Khan Matt Murdock team up in the future. It's not something that I'd ask for.
Yeah,
Something I would ask for, maybe an introduction of his future sidekick, Blind Spot. So at some point we need to meet Blind Spot. Uh, and maybe if we don't get Blind Spot, we can also get Finesse too. Finesse is a pretty damn good character, and I believe Finesse is a mutant. So if Miss Marvel is a mutant, we setting up for another mutant to show up in the Daredevil world, which has already been known to work with Daredevil on multiple occasions. So uh give us some team ups that we can ask for that makes sense, and we've seen it in the comics before. Uh I honestly think like it was just some sort of fan service that didn't hit the way that they thought it would. Just to introduce, like, oh, Miss Marvel's dad is in the Daredevil episode. It's just like, cool, but
I
honestly,
didn't. I didn't even know that that was her father because I have not watched Miss Marvel and I haven't watched the Marvels, so I didn't know that was her father until they said Kamala Khan. I was like, oh, the Miss Marvel girl, okay. And then they showed the
yeah,
Funko Pop that he had of her. I was like, okay, I didn't know because like I still have not. I've yet to see the Miss Marvel TV show, and yet to watch the Marvels because, like I said, I've been kind of me and the MCU have fallen out of love. So like I haven't watched everything. So yeah, I didn't really care about that.
yeah. It Miss Marvel's a good TV show. It's just not like it's it's not like the highest urgent priority for people to rush and go watch. Like you could probably live without seeing that show. A lot of people hate it. Don't know why they hate it, but for me, it was enough to get by from just one watch through, and I never have to go back and watch it again. That's all I needed from it. Her team ups elsewhere, awesome. Would love to see it. Like, let her stick to characters that's more in her universe, her little world. Daredevil, he needs to be with people that make sense for him. Like, uh, we want to see a tag team. It should be like Spider Man. It
That would
should
be
be
my
like Punisher, Luke Cage,
give
Jessica
me
Jones. Hmm.
Spider Man and Daredevil. Give me that, please. Like that, man. Spider Man's my favorite Marvel hero. Daredevil's right there, probably behind him. Those are my two
Hmm.
guys. Like them, just seeing them two together would be so much, just so amazing.
Yeah, and only thing I dread is that if Daredevil and Spider Man have a misunderstanding and they wind up fighting, that's going to be a lot of CGI. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's a fight that's saved for animation. Like, so if you watch the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series that just came out on Marvel on Disney Plus, the animated fight between Daredevil and Spider-Man was like comic accurate and completely beautiful choreography. Uh,
I
they will
haven't
not be able to pull that off in live action.
I
They
have
will
not
not.
seen it, though. So
Oh, that is an animated series that is worth your time.
I've been seeing like a lot of people hate on it and a lot of people love it, so I'm not sure. And is it connected to the MCU or like what isn't it supposed to be like Tom Holland Spider-Man in a way or kind of like what's the deal with that?
It's in a completely separate universe from Earth 616. So everything is just completely like not ours, basically. So you
So it's
could
not
go
connected
in.
to Homecoming at all.
Yeah, it's not connected to Homecoming. It's completely different cast of voice actors. Tom's not in it. I believe maybe Charlie Cox is the voice of Daredevil in it, but that's the only person they brought over.
Okay.
And they introduced Daredevil sidekick in that show, so it's like, damn, like at some point Daredevil sidekick needs to pop up. So that'd be pretty sick because there's no way he's going to take on like all these crooked cops of the task force by himself. So, and if you're not going to give us the Defenders anymore, give us Finesse or Blind Spot.
Yeah, and like I really like I love John Bernthal coming back as the Punisher, of course.
Yes.
And like that fight scene in his apartment was amazing when he's murdering people and Daredevil's trying to stop him from murdering people, but also trying to stop the guy. And it's just like they had the guy there that killed the White Tiger, and the Punisher's like egging him on. He's like, "Come on, you know you want to kill him, like and then like you can see that Daredevil's struggling because he wants to, but at the same time, he's fighting with himself. That was the only time we really got a glimpse of his internal struggle was when he was with the Punisher and he was trying to stop the Punisher from killing those dudes while also fighting them at the same time. That was a really great sequence.
It is funny too because like Daredevil finished knocking one guy out, and there's some instances where Frank is like, "I'm gonna come over and just kill him." He's like, "No, he's knocked out, bro. You don't have to shoot him while he's down."
He'll just walk up and like head tap him.
So, like, yeah, he's just like, "Oh, Matt, I don't know why you're keeping him alive. I'm just gonna come and get him." It's like, yeah. God, it makes his job so much harder.
I love that scene that they touched on where the Punisher, he just walks into the den of cops by himself. He does not care. He just goes in, just guns a-blazing. He's just like going in as a Punisher. And I love when they tie him up and they're like, "You should join us. Like, we would be honored to serve with you." And the Punisher is like, you don't understand at all. Like, you're completely missing the point of like
why I do what I do.
Why I do what I do. You don't know the trauma I've been through and all of this. And I absolutely love that. And that's a callback because, like, I don't know if people keep up with recent times, but in a lot of ways, a lot of people use the Punisher logo as a form of like, basically, like, I don't know how to.
Like hardcore patriotism, almost.
Yeah, like it's something like that. Yeah, like they use it like it's like a patriotism, or like they're a badass or something like that, and like or like these white supremacists use it, or like organizations like that use the Punisher logo and like stuff like that, and it's like that's not what the Punisher was made for. Like that's not like what the Punisher is. Like Blake says, he calls him that because that's what I love that callback to like real life stuff.
Right, because it's like this dude lost his wife and I think both of his kids. He lost 2 kids in the comics. I don't know if he lost 2 kids in live action. I think it was 1 kid.
It's been so long since I've seen the seasons of Punisher, but it's at least 1 kid, maybe 2. I can't remember. But
yeah, he was a father of 2 in the comics, and I think I don't know what the explanation was of why they just gave him like 1 little boy, or maybe he did have a son and a daughter. And
I feel like he did have 2 kids. When I think about it, I feel like there was 2 kids there, but I'm not 100% on that. But what Blake said right here is, yeah, like cops used the skull and add a blue line when the Punisher hated the cop. Yeah. Like they were missing the point of the Punisher, so I kind of like that they wrote that into the show. That was some smart of the time writing, that they wrote that into the show. And like the Punisher, like, you guys are idiots. Like he's like, I'm not one of you at all. I'm not going to join you. What are you talking about? Like I love that.
Yeah, the timing couldn't be any better for this series too, because it's just like this about Wilson Fisk running for mayor.
Yeah. I don't like to get too political on my show, but like at the same time, when I was watching the show, I was like, man, this is kind of realistic. There's like, we're seeing a lot of this stuff happening right now. Like it is very, very, they nailed like the people voting for Fisk and like the fanboys of Fisk and like just how that kind of whole political world works is just it's kind of scary that it's, you know, so
Yeah.
like entwined with like our real world. Like it's very scary times to be in, that we can look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of like what's happening now. Oh wait, oh, yeah, oh
Yeah.
wait a minute, that's not really a good thing, but you know.
It goes back to one of my favorite quotes ever. It's like art imitates life, and a lot of comic book creators do that all the time. Like a lot of fictional storytellers do that. Like they'll even like Star Wars, the entire franchise of Star Wars is based on politics.
Yeah.
It mirrors it. Like the stormtrooper name came from Hitler, like the English translation of what one of Hitler's brown shirts was. So it's a lot of insane shit going on when
Like
people tell stories.
yeah, stormtroopers are basically Nazis. Like George Lucas basically, you know, ripped off Nazis for storm. Like that was basically kind of his thing. So like, yeah,
Yeah, like the German, they refer to them as brown shirts, and they have a German nickname or a German formal name, but the translation to it is stormtrooper. So it's just like damn. And Lucas was just like, all right, I'm taking that, and that's gonna be my dudes running around with the Empire and fucking people up. So it's just like, yeah. So and I love that about Born Again, Daredevil Born Again. Matt Murdock is just listening to people and eavesdropping on conversation. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why are
yeah,
y'all voting for Kingpin?
I love that.
It's like, do you not know what he's capable of? Do you not know him? Do you not know him personally, or do you just uh, what point of it is it a good idea to put Kingpin in charge of New York City? And he's just so confused by it. Everybody else is kind of like open, like, oh, that sounds like a very interesting and badass idea. And like Matt's like, bro, what the hell?
Well, I think it shows that the people, it kind of shows that the people of New York are desperate. Like, you know, like they've gotten to a state where like they're desperate. So like, let's throw in somebody who's not political at all, or like, you know, has any political background. Let's give him a shot, because like everything sucks. So we're desperate. And it kind of, you know, it speaks to like the desperateness of America, you know, in a lot of ways. So like,
Yeah.
I really like that, how it intertwined. Well, I don't like that it intertwined with our real world, but it was really well written to do that. And like
Yeah.
with James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini's character, and how he's basically, you know, this terrible person, and he's just trying to rise. And it was just like he played a perfect scumbag just trying to rise to the top. I really liked his addition to the show, where he was just he basically wanted to stop at nothing to just rise up the ranks.
And I have a theory. So this is my very first theory about Daredevil Born Again. I Since Vanessa isn't pregnant, I think this kid Daniel Blake is going to be a love child of Wilson Fisk from a relationship prior to Vanessa. Uh, I think the dude goes this hard for Wilson because he knows that's his dad, and the introduction of the son of Kingpin is going to be huge for Marvel if this is true.
That would actually be really good, because I did read that he was a made up character for the show, that he's not in Born Again, so they could definitely do that.
Yeah,
Like
because
he's not in the Born Again comics. I know that they made him up for the show, so like that, yeah, that I could see that.
yeah, and honestly, like that would be the perfect opportunity. Like Vanessa is the mother of Wilson's son in the comics, but live action Wilson and Vanessa are established and been established for a long time, and the son of Kingpin is like our age. He's like our age, so to have like a bastard child that's not Vanessa's son, but he's just like, I don't know who my real father is, but I think I have a hint, so I'm gonna follow Wilson around and make sure I put two and two together or get the test results or whatever. Like that would be a nice spin on that. Like I am the son of Kingpin. I'm not Vanessa's son, but I'm still Wilson's son. And to have him a full grown adult, just as menacing as the son is in the comics, bastard child, like that could be a nice retcon on the truth, and everybody would be able to live with it because like the son of Kingpin is like he's like a common villain for Spider-Man, and I think Daredevil has run-ins with him too, so that'd be awesome. Like, and this is like during the Mayor Fist period, so they're like, he's not just like mafia gangster bad, he's like politically bad, and it's like, whoo, a different take on it would be really fresh, and not a lot of people would complain about that.
Yeah, and I like the Ben's granddaughter coming back in the show, being the reporter BB. I really like, and you know, she's kind of working with Michael Daniel Blake's. You know, she's kind of using him, you know, and he kind of understands that and stuff. I kind of like their dynamic, and I really liked how they used her like on the street news reporting to set up like shots of New York. Like they would show just like interview people that seemed like actual like people of New York. It seemed like actual people on the street. Like they didn't seem like actors. I did like that, added a real world feel to it. I liked where it was like the BB on the street or whatever it was called.
BB report. Yeah.
Where it showed just like establishing shots of like New York, and like she would interview these random people on the side of the street, and added that realistic feel to the show. Kind of helped ground it some more too. I like that.
Yeah, Michael Gandolfini, he's 25 and he's playing the role of like a 19-year-old right now. So he's in that perfect range to be like even a bastard child for Wilson. And
yeah, obviously
that'd be pretty
like Vanessa and Wilson's kid, like you said, but it would be like a child from a previous woman. So like, definitely could work.
And he's got the personality like down packed. Like the last like 3 episodes, you see him come into it just like whatever boss man says, I'm gonna make it happen, even if I have to get ugly to do it. And he's just like, whoo, that is chipping off his papa's block.
Yeah, and I mean, but hey, Vanessa too, because like we learned that Vanessa was the one that hired the hit on Foggy there, and I love that sequence when Bullseye breaks out of prison and he comes up, and then Matt just sacrifices himself for Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
I love that when he took the bullet for Kingpin, because he's like, well, he's not the one; it's actually Vanessa. Like I really like that.
Yeah, and Benjamin Poindexter, he's always had a beef with Wilson Fisk, so it makes sense that that Vanessa was able to convince him to like, I need you to carry out a hit, and I'll return the favor for you. And so he like goes and kills Foggy and tries to clean house with everybody else that's around, but in the end, like, I think he came back. He was just going to kill Wilson anyway. I'm not sure if he was going to kill Vanessa or not, but it's good that Vanessa's still alive, because Vanessa at some point, I don't know if live action is going to follow through with this, but Vanessa does get pregnant. So they could have another, Wilson and Vanessa could have their first child together, or they could not. But since we don't have that much time in the MCU, I think introducing a bastard child is a whole lot better direction. So Vanessa never has to get pregnant, and we don't have to just go off trail from what we're doing right now.
Because they're also kind of, not to say they're too old or whatever, but they're also a little, like Wilson Fisk and Vanessa, they're kind of in their later years too to be having a baby, like that. It would make more sense, like you said, Daniel Blake being the son. That would work better with the vibe, I think.
Right. Let's see. Daredevil and Bullseye team up at one point in second season.
That was another great thing where Bullseye was like, in another life, you'd be defending me. I love that little line he gave Daredevil, where he just like, he pissed Daredevil off, and he was like, in another life, you'd be defending me. And that was a really good like stinger. I was like, oh God, and like,
I see people joking about that too. It's just like, is that a multiverse pun or what? It could be.
I don't. I think that he was just saying like, you've defended these terrible people in the past, like,
Yeah, and he's not above it at all. It's just like, but Bullseye is Bullseye. He no matter if it's comics, cartoon, or live action, he is always going to kill somebody close to Matt Murdock.
I just hope we get
So
more development with him because like we get like the whole his blue vision, and I don't
yeah,
remember that being in season 3. I don't remember that. I don't know if he had the blue vision in season 3, like his where it does his point of view. I think that's a new thing they did this season.
with Bullseye.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they didn't do his point of view that blue. I think that's new to this season because I don't remember that in season 3. But I wonder how they're going to explain Bullseye because even in season 3, I made a friend watch Daredevil. That was just a play online. Yeah, I could see that, but it's also like his. It's trying to like put you in his point of view, obviously, and I. That's one thing I had a little issue with was his powers. Like, where did he get his powers? Because like you can't just like have a tooth and like spit it out at like a perfect speed where you kill somebody. Like like where did he because like in season 3 it's not really explained where he got these powers and I actually my friend went through Daredevil for the first time because of this show. I was like, dude, you got to watch Daredevil
I'm about to Google it right now because there's like different iterations of Bullseye. Like
because like
there's
in the comics he gets it by like AIM, I think is the name, AIM, and they mention it a little bit in season 3. I think it's AIM, I want to say.
that's probably the people that were working on him at the end of season 3. Because after he lost the fight to both Daredevil and Kingpin, they showed him getting surgery as a post credit scene. They were doing something to
Yeah,
his spine. I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
how does I don't know how that kind of works with like him being able to like spit a tooth that's super fast, like like those type of powers. That, like I feel like they should explain that better. Hopefully in season 2, or expand upon how he has these powers.
Yeah, so the border. So the baseline comic book definition of Bullseye is the innate ability to throw virtually any object as a projectile with incredible accuracy and with enough force to be lethal. So I guess spitting his tooth out, kind of like meshes it as throwing it, maybe, or it could be like an add-on from what the surgery did, because Matt threw him off the roof after Foggy died, and he survived a fall, and I think that had something to do with the surgery that made him who he is too.
Yeah,
So that's interesting.
I hope we get a little more on Bullseye in this second season, a little more backstory of like where he kind of got his incredible aim and powers. I know we got good in season 3, but I feel like we could have a little more explanation or like development there with Bullseye. I feel like.
Yeah, and like prior to the surgery, he was already like throwing stuff with lethal force
Yeah,
too. Like he would put on the Daredevil suit in like season 3 of the Netflix series, and he would just throw like scissors and shit, and and if you weren't suited up, you would die on the spot, like because he'd know exactly where to hit you, and if you can't dodge it or block it, you're cooked. So now that the surgery happened, he's a lot stronger and he's a lot worse with being able to just like I could spit something at you and you'll die. And it's like god damn, like whew.
I do hope we get it somehow. I know it'll be a little cheesy to do it fully, but I hope we get some iteration of his classic costume.
Oh yeah, the
Because I will,
costume he has now. Whew.
I know you love that costume. I don't like that costume whatsoever. I may be in the minority here, but I think it's a weak costume. Like I don't really care for that. I don't care for his costume in season 3. I didn't like it. The blue. We only get the
Yeah,
one. I mean, to be fair, we only get the one. It's only in episode 1 he's wearing it.
yeah, and he has like at least 3 or 4 different suits that I've seen him in. Then he has like the iconic black suit that everybody knows him for,
Yeah.
and that
I
is
would,
a little outlandish for live
yeah,
action.
that's I would love to see that somehow transformed into like the Daredevil. I don't know how they could fit that into this iteration, but like that would be cool if they could do something like that.
Yeah,
Just
I,
more development with Bullseye in general is what I want because I feel like even season 3 and now especially this season, we only get like a little bit with him. I really would like a whole lot more, especially if he's like Daredevil's main guy, arch nemesis. That's like that's his Green Goblin, his Joker. Like, you should have some more development there.
He's kind of like the Carnage. He's like Daredevil's Carnage, honestly. At least that. Well, damn. Because Spider-Man's Green Goblin is like the equivalent to Kingpin to Daredevil, but Bullseye has done way more damage to Matt Murdock than Wilson Fisk has. Like, Fisk sends the people after him, but then Bullseye just said, "All right, the rest of the work is my work," and it's like, it's like God. Like in the Ben Affleck movie, he kills Elektra. He kills somebody. He kills somebody else close to Matt in the Netflix series too. So
he kills the priest.
Yeah, he kills the priest in the Netflix series. It's like, damn, it's like nonstop too. Like everybody close to Matt Murdock is getting dropped when he shows up. So it's like, it's going to be hard to see them team up, but I'm sure it's going to be very necessary in season 2. I'm sure it's going to be very necessary because they got an army up against them, and Matt needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, I don't know where that army, because like we need an army, and it's just Detective Cherry and a few cops, and it's like, well, you're gonna have to have somebody more than that to go against Kingpin and all his people. There's gonna be some other superhero type. Of course, the Punisher is gonna be in there probably for sure. Because with the post-credit scene, he breaks out. But like, you're probably gonna need more than a Daredevil and Punisher to take back New York.
Exactly. It's just like, and New York is like the hub of Marvel heroes. So so many people you can pull from. Like you can street level or like cosmic. Like man, come on. Like at some point you might even. Well, actually no, because Ironheart isn't from NY, so maybe not Ironheart in the future season, but there's a chance. Maybe somebody from Spider-Man's universe. Maybe if we don't get Spider-Man, we'll at least get somebody from Spider-Man's universe. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome to have that. I think we'll get Jessica Jones and Luke Cage in seconds. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah,
my prediction is, I think because of the timing of season 2 coming out a few months before the new Spider-Man movie, I just think there's going to be some little Spider-Man. He's not going to be in season 2 much, but I feel like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to show up in season 2 in some place. I feel like in a little scene at least. I just think the timing is right there, a few months before the new Spider-Man's coming out. I think I actually think that to expand on my theory. You heard it here first. This is my theory. I know people say Sony won't allow it, but the like he just said, but the Newton brothers, they already confirmed that was his theme that they put at the end, and they're not going to put the Spider-Man's theme in there and not do anything with it. Like that's going to come to fruition at some point. And I feel like because we're having this, because like 2021 was when No Way Home came out, and Brand New Day is 2026. That's 5 years difference. I feel like Born Again season 2 is going to help set up Spider-Man Brand New Day. I have a feeling. That's just my thought. I feel like maybe Kingpin might have a role as a villain in Brand New Day. That would be dope. It's comic accurate. I think he should at least be a side villain in that movie. And Born Again season 2 would be a perfect segue into that, and we could get a little Spider-Man Daredevil action at the same time. That's my theory, and that's what I hope. I think Sony and Disney will make a deal. I really do think.
I hope so, man, because this is like, if we don't get Peter Parker, can we at least get somebody from this world, like J. Jonah Jameson? Because, J. Jonah Jameson is like, yay, Wilson Fisk, the anti-vigilante law. I love it. Fuck Spider-Man. It's like, all right, cool. I'll settle for that. But it's like, come on, man. Like, it's New York, so like Spider-Man's entire rogue gallery is there. Daredevil's rogue gallery is there. All their allies live in New York. It's like, come on, just one person. And
Yeah.
if you screw us over and you don't give us a Daredevil sidekick anytime soon, I'm gonna be heartbroken.
And I mean, I've thought this from No Way Home. No Way Home ends. It sets it up perfectly for him to work on the street level because he's back in a really crappy apartment, and like he made his suit. Like he doesn't have the tech suit anymore. It's a homemade suit that he sewed together himself. Like it seems like we're really getting back to the streets of Spider-Man with that ending. And Daredevil Born Again would be a perfect tie-in with Kingpin and Daredevil and all that. I think it just lends itself to go that way, and I think a lot of people would like that. I definitely would love that.
Absolutely. I am a Spider-Man fanboy, so I gotta have my Spider-Man one way or the other,
Yeah, give me my web shooter.
right?
It's been telling that Brandon pick up because that's going to show us how he's been alone since no one knows. They need to give us that explanation before he shows up, I believe. Yeah, and that's another thing I saw some people commenting on. Where's Spider-Man when Wilson Fisk is taking over as mayor of New York? Like, where's Spider-Man in all of this? I feel like they will have to address that too. And I think, again, Born Again Season 2 could help segue that in Brand New Day. I think it, because they're going to have to explain why Spider-Man didn't help at all during all this going down, Fisk taking over and all that. Like,
And Fisk knowing who he is, that's crazy because it's like Doctor Strange erased everybody's memory. So this is either before Doctor Strange erased everybody's memory or after when he reestablished himself as Spider-Man again.
it would have to be after, wouldn't it? Because I want to say, because they mentioned scrolls. They have that little scroll line. Bradford says about the scrolls. That's a little Secret Wars line he gives. And, Miss Marvel is already established.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot all about that Scrolls line because that's like
Yeah, it
their
was just like
timeline.
it was a little 1 second, but he's like, it was used as humor because he was like, it was a scroll impersonating me or something like that.
Yeah, literally everything that's taken place up until now has been like what 5 years after Endgame.
It's just hard to like get where the timeline's at, just because MCU's all over the place, right? They're kind of fumbling. They're not fumbling, but they're trying to grasp at a lot of things right now because they're trying to get people back on their side, and they're trying to do things, and like, so it's kind of hard to figure out where everything is placed in time wise.
Yeah, I struggle with keeping up with like where we at on the canon timeline. So
I
I
think you should have
honestly
faith, Blake. Don't get me
was.
wrong, I'm with y'all, but I want it, but I just don't see it. I think you should have some faith. You know what? Be like Daredevil, the man without fear.
Mm.
And you know what? I think we'll get it. I just, it would be the most perfect way to set up Spider-Man where Spider-Man's at in Brand New Day, to set him up on this new street level path where it looks like we're going after the end of No Way Home, where he's by himself and all that. I feel like it just lends itself to go that way, where it's Born Again Season 2 Spider-Man, and into Brand New Day we get a little Daredevil, we get a little Kingpin as a side villain probably. Like I feel like it's just right there with you.
Yeah, and honestly, like how would I describe Daredevil Born Again? It's like going to Little Caesars Pizza and you get a pizza from them. They forgot to offer you some crazy bread. Spider-Man is the crazy bread. We don't need the crazy bread, but it'd be a hit if you got it anyway.
And Little Caesars that's a perfect comp too, because Little Caesars is like the cheaper version of all the other pizza places.
Yeah.
And no shade to Born Again, but Born Again is kind of like the Little Caesars version of like the Domino's of the Netflix series. No, it's like it's like the Little Caesars of the Netflix series, where it's like it's cheaper and it may be not as good and well put together, but it still gets the job done.
It sure does.
Like like that's that's a good analogy.
Just like any other pizza, it'll have you run into the bathroom prior to shitting yourself. So it's Hey, but my
Hey,
stomach was full and I got dopamine.
you know.
Right? That's all you need, man. That's all you need. I had to.
Blake said, "I will say their timeline has been super tight and on point." I disagree with you there, Blake. I don't think it's been super tight and on point but also I haven't watched all the things, so that could also be why. And also my brain cannot keep up with every single movie and TV show that Marvel has released in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just me, but I feel like their timeline is so fuzzy. Like I don't know, just something. I just don't know where things are. Like you could, because I even had this conversation with my friend who watched Born Again after I made him basically because I told him it was a top 3 show and he was arguing with me about it. Shout out James. He was arguing with me about it. He's like, "Oh, this isn't going to be a good show." Well, he ended up watching all 3 seasons and Born Again in like 2 weeks, so he must have loved it enough.
That's fair. I think like the most current timeline event that's happened so far is probably going to be Cap 4 and Thunderbolts. Fantastic Four is in a whole nother world and different time.
And like he was even saying, he was like, "Does this take place before No Way Home? After No Way Home?" Like there is a lot of people have been questioning where this takes place. So I feel like, watch New Rockstars after you've watched every project. But that's the thing. If you have to watch a YouTube video to explain to you where the timeline is, then it's not doing an on-point job itself. You're getting help from nerds that are like dissecting this and doing this for a living. Like, I feel like the movies should be able to do that themselves and hold up on their own. Well, you don't have to watch an explanation video of this, and this. It's like doing homework. It's like giving you homework.
It was like, by the way, it's like, damn it, Feige, come on, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, but it is useful nonetheless.
Hey,
it is definitely useful.
Give Feige credit. He grew some balls, and he fired some people that were trying to do a soft reboot. He was like, "No, this isn't going to work." I'm proud of him. And you know what? That writer's strike and actor strike, it did good for the writers and actors, and it did good for the show too, because for some reason, I guess it caused Kevin Feige to watch the first few episodes, and him and other producers were like, "No, let's cancel this and restart."
Yeah,
I'm glad they did, because they brought back the Punisher, they brought back Karen. I won't say Foggy because they need to do better with how they brought him back. But other than that, yeah. And they brought back Bullseye too. Bullseye wasn't even going to be in this, I don't think. I think it was just Kingpin and Daredevil were the only 2. So
I got a question for you and Blake. If either one of y'all can answer this, Cap America 4 was set in 2025, right? Earth 616 2025.
Blake would know that better than me. As he's the Fandomentals guy. Blake's got the luck. If you want anything Marvel, shout out. This is my shout out. Shout out Fandomentals, by the way. If you want anything Marvel superhero, go to Fandomentals because they have that thing on lock. Like they are just like on point with their videos and stuff. Like I give all the props to Blake and his co-host over there. Like they're just like on point. Where like every time a Marvel project drops, they got all these videos ready for you. Like if you're a Marvel fan, if you're a superhero fan, Fandomentals. If you're any fandom, Star Wars,
shout out to Fandomentals.
Fandomentals is the place to go. Like because like 2026 and 2027, he says.
Between that time. Okay, so potentially Thunderbolts and Daredevil Born Again events are probably around that time frame too.
Yeah, you would think. I mean,
hopefully, wishful thinking. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to it's hard to know. Like I said, they need to do better at that. But like, yeah, shout out Fandomentals again for that because like I said, I've been seeing all of their things. It starts spring. Okay, I've been seeing all their things lately, and just like cranking out content, and it's just like all the Marvel news. If you want Marvel news, all you got to follow is Fandomentals, and you're set. You're up to date on everything. You don't need any other like site or nothing. Like they just got it on lock. So like, shout out for them because like when it comes to fandom, they're just killing it over there, and I'm just like the effort and stuff. I just admire the effort that they put into like dissecting all these things and figuring all these things out with Marvel and stuff, because that would be exhausting for me. So like, just shout out y'all over there at Fandomentals. Definitely go give them a follow and subscribe, like all the things on all of the socials if you haven't, for sure.
All of them.
I didn't mean to kiss their ass there, but I'm just being honest. But
Hey, that's our sister podcast. So
yeah, I'm just being honest. They got it on lock where I'm just like, dang, I'm like I'll just be like scrolling through and like I think it was when Born Again. I think I was watching Born Again, and of course I follow them on everything, and I'm just scrolling through, and I'm like, they got videos breaking down Born Again episode, whatever, like right after it's done, and it's just like, y'all are just on. I'm just like, you're in that zone, like killing it.
And they're about to start getting into deep dives too. So it's like, man, their channel's going to be loaded with information. It's going to be like a fucking library for DC and Marvel stuff, Star Wars, and
oh yeah, like killing it. So like, yeah, definitely you don't come to me for your Marvel stuff. I'm more of the indie guy, the more auteur, I guess you would call it, the Martin Scorsese, I guess you would call. I don't know. I'm more of my guys, my bags. But like I said though, people say this all the time that the MCU, I hate the MCU, and that I am a Marvel hater. I swear I do not hate the MCU. I love the MCU. I actually, like I said, it started me into. It didn't start me when I was a kid. It was before the MCU. But like when I got back into movies, it was during a Captain America Civil War era. I think it was around that time when I got back into film and wanting to make films and stuff. Was the MCU was what skyrocketed that. So like I owe the MCU a lot for my passion for movies, and like I probably would have never gotten a degree in film if it wasn't for the MCU. So like I absolutely I love the MCU. Like I do. I just have fallen off these past few years just because maybe it's my taste has changed. I don't know what it is, but I just maybe or the quality. I mean, a lot of people have fallen off the MCU, so I know I'm not alone. I think the quality has just not been great. So I'm happy. Like I said, we'll see with Thunderbolts coming out. Fantastic Four. Those are the last two shots they have for me. If they don't get both of those movies right, I'm out. MCU.
Spank them.
I'm out. I'll spank them and then I'll leave. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm praying for it.
I'm just here for the Daredevil and Spider-Man at that point. That's all I'm watching. Like,
yeah.
Still stay for Daredevil because I'm ready for season 2 of Born Again. I am ready.
Yeah, if the MCU breaks my heart, I probably won't come back again until the mutants are fully emerged.
Yeah, like I'm more of a, I'd rather go watch Akira Kurosawa film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that kind of guy, but at the end of the day, I love the MCU. I love Born Again. Overall, I know we talked about our issues, but we did also, I think we praised it a lot here. I think we gave it a lot of praise. I mean,
a lot of praise, a lot of criticism.
I mean, what would you give it overall? Because you were talking about like, I'm talking about your score is getting low. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking?
Because now that I have really no choice but to compare it to the Netflix series that literally is Born Again is the follow-up to that. It is just like, damn, I couldn't do the Netflix first 3 seasons dirty by giving Born Again such a ridiculously high score, like a 10 out of 10. So I think I have no choice but to say 8.5, and I'm going to stick to that as either a solid B or a B plus on a good day and bad day.
Okay. I completely respect that. I think it's. I think you're with. I think a lot of people are like that. We're like it was good, but we got 3 seasons on Netflix, or now they're on Disney Plus, obviously. But we had 3 seasons on Netflix that were better. Like, but for me, this is going to shock people. As much as criticism I've been saying about the MCU and things, and maybe this speaks to my love for Daredevil, and maybe I'm just a Daredevil whore. I am a Daredevil whore, like I am a Spider-Man whore.
Me too.
You know, Charlie Cox. I'm a Charlie Cox whore. I love that man, but I think that they did almost as good as they could. I would give this show an A-, which is like a 4 out of 5, and I'd give it an A- though on my grading scale, A-, which is still for me great with issues. That's what A- means for me. It's still in that great range, but it has some issues, and I think that's where
that's Will.
Dirty Daredevil. You know what?
Shout out to the Emperor.
I am. You called me. You got me. But yeah, I think
he's a slut for the Cox.
Hey, yeah. Oh, but Mac is in here. Co-host of
Mac,
the show.
aka your boy.
I'll give Jacob an A too.
Is that McNamara?
McNamara, boy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On the show before. Yep. That's my boy. He gives me an A. You know what, Mac? From you, that's an A+, so I'll take it. Yeah, I'd like to see Charlie in more. Yeah, he has a Netflix series where he's like a spy or something.
He needs as many action roles as he could get. I don't want to typecast him, but
go look up the Netflix series, Blake. But there's some kind of Netflix series where he's like a spy or something. There's like one season of it. I was gonna watch it, but I just haven't had time. I don't know if it's good or not. But that's the only thing else I've seen him in ever, which is sad. Because like I heard he was like he went to school with like Andrew he's good friends with like Andrew Garfield and like a few other like big name actors that have had a lot bigger roles and stuff. So that's kind of I don't know why he hasn't gotten more, because like I mean like people really do think he's blind. Like there's still memes where people get shocked that he's not actually blind. Like he plays a blind person so well.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's just a top 5 portrayal. I mean, I literally love that man. I love that man so much. I collect Funko Pops. I bought the Funko Pop of him when he's in the classic yellow and red Daredevil suit from She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen She-Hulk. I don't care to ever watch She-Hulk. It's called Treason. Okay, shout out Treason. I don't know if that's a good show or not, but he's in that on Netflix. But I bought the pop of him just because I knew it was Charlie Cox's in the classic Daredevil suit. I was like, I gotta own this just because it's him. Like that's just my guy. Like I love Daredevil so much.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate that I think that's why I give this show an A-. It probably doesn't deserve an A-, but it's still great because of what they had to do. Because I know of the behind the scenes drama with the creative overhaul and the having to include, and they did have to include the footage from like the other team. So they had to that's, as a filmmaker, I can imagine putting somebody else's vision into your vision while also trying to fit into an MCU world.
And stay faithful to the comics.
And stay faithful to what you're the Netflix series at the same time. Like that is that's like a minefield. So like showrunners, props to the showrunners for that. Like it's if you haven't seen it, or if you've been on the fence, definitely check this out. Yeah, we've had our criticisms and issues, and they are valid. At the end, it's absolutely for me, it's a A-, great show still. I love it. I am so hyped for season 2. If season 2 was out right now, I'd binge it. I can't wait for season 2. It's less than a year now, March 2026.
Hey.
And
thanks for tuning in, Blake.
Thanks, Blake, for tuning in. Shout out.
Shout out Fandomentals.
Yeah, I just absolutely love Daredevil. And every time I go watch a studio on Apple TV, Blake, you know what? I probably do need to watch that. I don't have Apple TV, though. I need to get Apple
Oh,
TV so I can watch that and Severance. I know people have been talking about those two shows for sure,
Severance, so good.
but I need to get Apple TV for sure. But yeah, as far as Daredevil, Hollywood producer friend of mine says it's almost exactly how it really. I've heard that a few times from people that they said it's very accurate of Hollywood. And I saw my boy Martin Scorsese is like in the first or second episode, so I mean that's a sold right. That's sold right there. Give me Little
Yeah.
Man Marty any day, and I get to call him Little Man Marty because we're best friends. All right,
Little man Marty.
all right. Me and Martin Scorsese are friends. Y'all don't know that, but I have his phone number. We talk.
Hey.
Really dope, but like that would be dope to be best friends with Martin Scorsese. But Ted Lasso and Seven, yeah, I know Mac, you love Ted Lasso. You've been trying to get me on the Ted Lasso train for years.
Yeah, this whole comment section needs to be Ted Lasso gang for sure.
I need, I know I need to get on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
as far as Daredevil though, come on now,
Whew.
the best MCU show by far. I think we can both agree. Born Again. With our even with our criticisms, it's crazy that it's still by a mile our favorite MCU show.
I don't think anything can top it. I honestly don't think any show.
Only season 2 could top it. Only
Yeah.
like literally, like I think that's the only thing that could top is another season of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's nothing Feige can come up with that can surpass Daredevil Born Again as a TV series. I don't. There is no show that can do it. Mm-mm.
It's just like I don't know something. It just hits a chord with me. This whole show, like, and we talked about the Netflix series briefly, but I just want to reiterate. I mean, that Netflix series is a top 3 of all time for me. TV show of all time, like top 3. Like it is. It's. I love that show to death. I will stand that show forever. I will stand Charlie Cox of Daredevil. If you have not seen that show and you're watching this, if you have not seen Born Again, watch all of it. You will not regret it. It is some of the best comic book of anything, not even just TV, but it can be up there with the movies too. I put it up there with like, as far as like comic adaptations, people are going to call me crazy for this, but I put it up there with like quality level of like the Dark Knight type stuff. Like I know that's crazy, but like for me, it is up there. Like, and I'm a Batman. Batman's my number 1. Like I am. It goes Batman and then Spider-Man are right there. Those 2 are my guys. So
Batman is him.
If I say something about Daredevil being as good as a Batman movie, then you know that it's a great show. You know that I love it.
Hell yeah.
Over here trolling. Can I watch Born Again while knowing nothing about Daredevil? No.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you'd have to watch the first 3 seasons to fully get what they're going for. And I know you think all 3 seasons. I promise you will start season 1 and you will be locked in. I promise you will not want to quit it.
Oh yeah, so good. Top tier, right? And the writing for the Netflix series is even better than Born Again. So by the time you get to Born Again, you'll be like, oh fuck, this shit's taking a hit. But it's worth it anyway because we're all Daredevil fans. We just haven't admitted it yet.
It's just it's still like it's almost as great as they could do transferring it into the blender that is the MCU. Like they basically had to stuff it into a blender of the MCU, and like I couldn't even like we said about adapting the comics, and then you have the continuation of the Netflix series, and then you have the creative overhaul, and you have to use footage from another team, and you have to like do all this, and you have to like rush to probably get it done because that was in October of 23. This came out in spring of 25. It's not that's a fast turnaround. So like to have to redo a whole thing, like that's a lot. So that's why I give it an A- and still think it's great. Just because of what they were able to do with what they had. And I really do overall love the season. And I really hope, because season 2 is going to be one creative team the whole way through. It's the same creative team. They're not going to do any overhauls. Hopefully not. They won't have to, but there's no sign of that. And they get to do their own thing now, like go on their own. So I think season 2 will be even better. And hopefully it'll somewhat compared to Netflix series. Probably won't reach the heights. I'm not going to put it up to that height because I don't think you can. I don't think that's fair. But hopefully it does.
And they pretty much, when it comes to using the source material, they pretty much borrowed all the elements that they need. So if they wanted to go completely off script from the comics for season 2, go ahead. Like we're ready to see just about anything. Like hell, if She-Hulk decided to go on a vacation to get some from Matt Murdock, she can pull up in New York and be like, "Hey, we'll team up after we hook up." Screw it.
Please don't push in Daredevil season 2. Please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me.
Oh god.
If you're gonna put anybody, put Spider-Man, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me Spider-Man.
Give us more Peter. We need Peter in our life.
Give me Peter Parker all day. Give me the shooter, you know? I just love that. I mean, do you have any thoughts on Daredevil?
Let's see.
Thoughts left?
Vincent D'Onofrio, Wilson's Fist for Eternity. That's my boy. Favorite villain. Nailed it. Look, rest in peace to Michael Clark Duncan, but you were the most unnecessary Kingpin I've ever seen. You probably could have been literally anybody else. Oh, there's one more thing. I was talking shit earlier about Feige never coming up with a TV show idea that could surpass this. I lied. Blade needs to be a TV series. It has to, and to not only do that, but to have Ryan Coogler.
Oh,
that might destroy Daredevil. That could. I mean, we've seen Sinners. We're at the point where everybody in here has seen Sinners. If Ryan Coogler directed a TV series about Blade, gave us like 1 or 2 seasons, Daredevil might be in hot water.
I don't think the Netflix show for me would be in hot water, but Born Again for sure would be in hot water. Born Again would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be the best MCU TV show by far if Ryan Coogler did Blade. That would be insane. Which I saw he's doing the Twilight Zone now, though.
Yeah, he's doing the Twilight Zone now. I do not recommend a Blade movie from the MCU.
X-Files, my bad.
Oh yeah, that's right. X-Files, yeah.
X-Files
because Jordan Peele's like running
Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Twilight Zone, yeah.
He's doing Ryan Coogler's doing the X-Files. That's his next project. Which, come on, do Blade. I know people love the X-Files. I've never watched the X-Files, so I can't say things on it. But I would rather see him do Blade.
I mean, we've seen his vampires. I mean, they were pretty cool. I mean, come on, man. Like, Mahershala Ali is on the verge of completely giving up his contract, and there ain't a director in Hollywood that'll touch this shit now. So
that man's going to be like 60 by the time they film it. Like,
yeah, they're going to have to recast. Like, damn. Like, at a certain point, I need to get my fat ass in shape. Maybe I could be Blade for MCU. I don't know.
Deante for Blade. That's our new. That's the plug. Deante. Ryan Coogler series Blade. After X-Files, come do Blade for the Marvel Cinematic Universe and cast Deante as Blade. And then make me one of the weird sidekicks. I don't know what Blade really. I don't know many Blade characters. I know Whistler, but I'm too young to be Whistler. So. Make me, you know what? I am pale. Make me like a weird little creepy vampire kid, you know? I'll be the weird creepy vampire kid that you get to cut my head off or something. I'll be fine with that. I'll be just like one of the baddies that you just like cut my head off, you know?
Right? It's just like, I don't want to be so brutal, so I'll just throw holy water at you.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that role all day. Working for Ryan Coogler? Heck yeah. Ryan Coogler, by the way, for Sinners, being so successful, being an original idea.
Mm-hmm.
So Absolutely. Successful. In a world full of IPs and Marvel and all that, Sinners being the success it has been, the cultural sensation it has been. I mean, it's almost reached, I think it has reached Barbie levels, Oppenheimer. Like, I think not since Barbie and Oppenheimer have we seen something that's reached this level of like cultural significance. And it's honestly, I won't say it's. That's gonna make me sound misogynistic if I say it's more important than Barbie, but it might be. It might be a little more important than Barbie. But like,
I mean, Greta will be okay. Greta girl will be all right.
Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Definitely, if you haven't seen Sinners, go watch Sinners. Support original ideas in Hollywood, and like, come on, Michael B. Jordan, and anything Michael B. Jordan kills it.
Oh
Miles,
man,
is it Miles Caden? Is that how you say his name?
Miles Catone.
Miles Catone. That man, for that being like one of his first movies or like his first movie, I don't know. Isn't he like a new actor?
Yeah, he's like a very well-known blues artist too. Like he wouldn't even taken a role if it wasn't for like a R&B singer told him to audition for it, and he got it.
Just like a star in the making. My God, that man has one of the best voices I've heard in a long time. Like, I'm gonna be listening to that soundtrack for sure. Like, I Lied to You is so good. That whole sequence.
Rocky Road to Dublin. Oh man, got the Irish people in the United States going insane over that.
Yeah, like cultural. Go watch Sinners. I saw it's only going to be like if you're around an IMAX theater, go watch it in IMAX. We're sadly in an area where we don't have IMAX because Missouri sucks. But if they did have IMAX, trust me and Deante would have been there on IMAX for sure. But sadly, we don't get IMAX around here. But if you can, I saw that I think they have like a few more days of IMAX and then it's going out of IMAX. So definitely check it out in IMAX if you can, because it was shot by the first woman to ever shoot with an IMAX camera. The cinematographer is shot, I forgot her name, but it's a female and she's the first female to shoot with entirely an IMAX, I think is what she did. So like that's history right there. So like so much history, significance with this movie in so many ways. And like, yeah, I know we were talking about Daredevil and we just went on a Sinners tangent, but like, I feel like this is my only platform to talk about Sinners besides my out of theater reaction I did. So like, I want to be able to give it the love it deserves because like,
if we could do a separate episode, I would gladly come out of my retirement for that shit. A separate episode for Sinners, I could talk about that shit all day.
Yeah, you know what? We really do. I really should have thought of that because, like, yeah, it is important. We should.
It's trending so hard right now.
Yeah, Sinners. We need to hop on that. Let us know in the comments if you want to see us talk about Sinners.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. But yeah, for Daredevil Born Again, great series, great season. Ready for season 2. Let's go. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Got it. Season 2 can't get here fast enough.
Charlie Cox, you are a king. Do you have anything else on Daredevil or anything you want to say?
Oh, that's all I got.
The only thing else I have to say is something serious.
Ooh.
And I'm waiting for the end of the show to say this. This is a very serious thing. Very serious. And I need to get it off my chest.
Oh yeah.
A24 hire
that man.
This is the part of the episode you thought this episode was going to end without that plug, but guess what? I never forget you, A24.
Never.
So A24, if you're watching this, hire me to be a filmmaker. You know what? Hire me to. I'll even be a grip. You know, I'll be a grip on one of your movies at this point. You know, there for a while I was shooting from like half court, saying, "Let me be a cinematographer. Let me direct something. Let me write something." You know what? I'm gonna shoot a free throw right now and just say, "Let me hold the mic for a second." You know, give me something.
Shooter's gonna shoot.
Come on, shooter's gonna shoot. And A24, I'm your man. Hire me. I have a degree in film. I am qualified. I should be an A24 guy. And let me become the next Christopher Nolan. Thank you. That's my serious plug. I had to get that off my chest. It's been on my chest for years. This is me. Bearing my soul to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Means the world. A24, you're watching this. They watch every single episode. Martin Scorsese does as well. Christopher Nolan will. I promise he will.
Ryan Gosling does too.
Ryan Gosling, he's behind me right now. He's driving. But yes, I was gonna do I did it right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Usually I do it backwards because of the mirror thing, but yeah, let's go.
On the first try too.
Meant to be. Ryan Gosling, shout out you. Yeah. Also, he's gonna be in a Star Wars movie. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Sean Levy's movie too.
The only thing that could bring me back to Star Wars was putting Ryan Gosling in it.
Yeah,
that's all I care about. Just put him as and his starfighter too. So I'm guessing it's gonna be like an X-wing fighter, hopefully, like a pilot fighting. Like, come on now, make it like it could be like a Top Gun-esque, fighting in the air. Like, come on, that'd be awesome.
I can get down with that.
Like, I am so excited for Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. Also, go watch Revenge of the Sith in theaters if you can for its re-release 20th anniversary. That's nostalgia. It's amazing seeing it. I saw it with a packed crowd. Everybody was laughing at all the mean parts. It's great to see in the theater. Go watch that while it's still out too. It deserves the love as well. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm talking to Ryan Gosling. You know what?
Hey,
give me the contacts, Will. Let me hit Ryan Coogler up because I know you know what he did. He did some crazy stuff with Sinners. Let me tell you, just cinematic achievement right there. Let's just shout out him. Shout out Daredevil again. Shout out Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Shout out Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio. Shout out Elektra from the original series. Shout out Stick. Shout out everybody in Daredevil. I love Karen Page, Foggy Nelson. I love them all. Cannot wait for you.
Yeah. Eldon Henson.
Yep. Season 2. Cannot wait. I mean, I can't think of anything else to say about Daredevil. I mean, I've got my Daredevil out of my head now, where I can be at peace. I needed to talk. I needed to come back. I came back from the dead to talk about this.
Yeah, this is a perfect scene for a resurrection right here. Jacob born again.
Yeah, we should have titled this. We should have titled the episode "Jacob Born Again." When you put it on Spotify or YouTube, you should title it "Jacob Born Again."
Jacob Born Again. Yeah, they'll know exactly what you mean too. It's like, oh, we already know what he's reviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Daredevil was awesome. That's all I gotta say. As far as next episode, I guess we should probably talk about that. I don't know.
Sinners is the winner.
Sinners.
We get Sinners, Thunderbolts. There's a lot going on in the cinema.
Oh man, now. Thunderbolts, yeah. What we got coming out? July. Well, July is wild. I know we got Fantastic Four. I will want to talk Fantastic Four probably.
Yeah, just May alone is actually chock full of a lot of releases too. So it's like, man, it's going to be busy. July is going to be crazy because Superman, Jurassic World, and Fantastic Four are the three that I definitely want to see. And probably Jurassic World, I'd love to cover Jurassic Park because that's a very important movie for me in my life, the original. And so I'd like to talk about Jurassic World and Fantastic Four, of course, and then Superman, if it's good, hopefully. And then, yeah, I mean, May, I know we got Mission Impossible coming out soon. Yeah, they have the Lilo and Stitch movie, and then they have all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I don't know but maybe Sinners will be coming. Sinners will be the next episode. My only issue is, though, this is the second week of Sinners, so by the time we get another episode out, it'll be
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it'll still be relevant though in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, these next couple of days I'll be pretty busy, but I think my schedule is going to be a little bit more relaxed now. So sometime early next week, I might be able to swing a review for some Sinners.
I think
Is
that could
that
be a possibility. So look out for
yeah,
Sinners. That'll probably be the next one if we do one. If not, then I'll for sure be coming back pretty soon with, for sure, and by July with Fantastic Four, and hopefully before then though. Hopefully Sinners or something like that. But yeah, that's. Oh, I gotta say right now.
yeah, and stay tuned for more news on Saturday Night Nerds. And Will's going to be doing a lot of Twitch streams coming up, and he's got some collabs on the way. So y'all subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, and be prepared for some content. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. My stomach is growling and howling. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode 17 of Jacob's Film Perspectives.
Jacob Born Again. Yes.
Jacob Born Again. Jacob Baptized Again. Man, I'm not eating Mexican food at night no more. Them burritos kicked my ass this morning so bad that it's just like, I learned my lesson, Lord Jesus.
If there's anything you should take away from this, that's what you should take away.
Yeah, so screw everything you just learned about history and vampires and vigilantes in New York.
Don't worry about that.
No Mexican food after midnight.
It's like a gremlin.
Oh, God. The gremlin kicking in my stomach for sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's what we got.
Well, you guys enjoy your Wednesday night.
Peace out, people.